What's up, everybody? Brand new podcast. This is a great one with Miss Pat. You know I absolutely love Miss Pat, and this is a really interesting one. Whoa. Tour dates. The Pretty Boy Relapse Tour is on sale right now. All dates. We have added all shows. I'd be doubtful if we add any more shows because we're coming up. Red Rock, September 8th. We have just opened more tickets for that show. So go to Bert.com and get your tickets for Red Rocks Amphitheater in Morrison, Colorado, September 8th, starting at 7:30 that evening. Mark Normand will be performing with me, as will Dave Williamson. It is going to be a banger of a show. Las Vegas, September 25th at the Park Theater at the Mirage. Montgomery, Alabama. Augusta, Georgia. Charleston, West Virginia. Charlotte, North Carolina. Atlanta, Georgia. Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Green Bay, Wisconsin, Peoria, Illinois, Sioux City, Iowa, Tampa, Florida, Orlando, Florida, Tallahassee, Florida, Jacksonville, Florida, Hollywood, Florida, Fort Myers, Florida, Washington, D.C. We added a show on November 3rd, my birthday. Come celebrate my birthday with me at Constitution Hall. Boston, Massachusetts, Bach Center, the Wang Theater, St. Louis, Minneapolis, Milwaukee, Rockford, Cleveland, Austin. Okay, let's stop with promoting tour dates. Go find me on tour. I'm excited to tour. I got a brand new hour. It's banging. I'm ready. My arm, new brace. I just boiled it today so I could make the plastic wider. Pretty cool, huh? Recovering well. This podcast with Pat, I think I have my cast on. Anything else to promote? No.
Podcasts? Any podcasts?
I'm on King and the Sting this week. I fill in for Theo Vaughn. New Two Bears, One Cave coming out. And those are my podcasts that I do. Right? That's it. Oh, yeah. And so this week, that's all you got. That's all you can find me on. And by the way, I'm trying to skinny up podcasts. I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like I should think about what I say these days. Everyone's fucking saying crazy shit. And everyone feels like it's just, it's funny, man. Did you see what Tim Dillon said about Austin?
No.
Holy shit.
What did he say?
He basically said, I'm paraphrasing, it made me laugh, but he goes, Austin is for loser artists who never learned how to monetize their art, who gave up on LA and New York. He bought a house there. I think he moved there, and I guess he's gone. I guess there's no way he's living there again. Or you can't even tell with Tim because he's just fucking trolling the fuck out of all of his neighbors. You never know with Tim. I love Tim Dillon. I get a fucking kick out of that guy. Do you see they fact-checked his fucking NBC video that he did?
Yeah. How do they not know that it's Tim Dillon? All you have to do is look at his profile.
Here's what I want to say, okay? When you see new dudes on a podcast, like when you see, say, someone on Tom Talks or on Your Mom's House or on this podcast or on Theo's podcast or on remember, always remember, give these new guys that you don't recognize a shot, because there was a day where you didn't recognize Chris DiStefano, Tim Dillon, Giannis Pappas, Mark Normand, myself. Tom, there was a day that you didn't recognize people. So I always get I always find it cool when you see guys that we all start bringing on the podcast and trying to blow up because we know how funny they are. And then when people realize how funny they are and we're like, yeah, we've been loving these guys for I remember I met Tim Dillon. I want to say I want to say 7 years ago, 8 years ago. I met him with Bobby Kelly. So I just want to say that because I see guys like Tim Dillon and Mark Normand and DiStefano and Giannis blowing up. And I always want to say, I know you guys are discovering them right now and how brilliant they are, but also do that when you see a name that you don't recognize on the podcast that you go, I don't know that guy. And because I know how I listen to podcasts. Sometimes I'll look at the name, I go, I've never heard of that person. Maybe I'm not interested. Those are the funniest motherfuckers.
I mean, even this episode, Miss Pat.
People know Miss Pat. Oh yeah, no, but we just got,
yeah, she's one of those people.
Miss Pat's a perfect example. This will be a big podcast. Everyone loves Pat. She was on The Cabin with me. She has her own new show coming out on
August 12th.
On BET Plus, August 12th. Make sure to check it out. It's called The Miss Pat Show, I think.
Yeah.
August 12th, BET Plus. Check to see if, I think it's under the Paramount umbrella, so you may get BET Plus. I don't know how streamers work totally, but go support Miss Pat. But Miss Pat's someone, can you see when Miss Pat was first on my podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have the computer, do you?
I got my phone.
I can figure it out. Like, this is my point I'm making is like, right now you're going, oh, Pat's one of my favorites.
Wow, episode number 79.
What year? What month?
Pull that up now.
Episode 79. I met Miss Pat in Indianapolis where she lives after doing Bob and Tom. And it was just, another comic hitting me up and saying, hey, man, you should have Miss Pat on. She's really fucking funny. She is a fucking great podcast guest.
June 9th, 2014.
2014. That is 8 years ago.
Wow.
8 years ago?
Sure.
And 7 years ago. 7 years ago. And she was on my podcast and she did so great. I called Ari. I said, you got to have Miss Pat on your podcast. And Ari put her on his podcast. And then she was so great that Joe and I were like, yo, you got to have Miss Pat on. By now, you're building the people going, oh, shit, she's awesome. Always do that to young comics that you see on people's podcasts. Give them a shot because I'm telling you, all of us were that young comic once. All of us were. And all the ones you're loving right now, they were just that like 4 years ago. Pat was 7 years ago. I was 9 years ago. And it's like, trust us when we say we're trying to bring you the best talent to have the best time with and as often as possible. So that was a weird little fucking diatribe I got on, a little soapbox. But it's just for me, I love seeing dudes kill it. And I love seeing Pat and Tim Dillon and Mark Norman, Joe List, fucking Andrew Schultz, all these guys. I mean, I had Andrew Schultz on Something's Burning fucking 4 years ago, 3 years ago. 3 years ago, and then immediately was like, I just met him, and I was like, this guy's fucking amazing. 4 years ago, maybe? When was Andrew Schultz on Something's Burning? It's got to be 3 years ago. I doubt it was much longer than that. You see it?
2019.
2019, that's not that impressive. Was it 2019?
Mm-hmm.
I bet we shot it in 2018, though. Because it was right where we logged like 13 of those and released them week after week after week. Anyway, my point is, I don't know what my fucking point is. Bert, just shut the fuck up.
Miss Pat's in the group of people that have really blown up because of podcasting.
Pat is in the group of people that blew up because of myself included, Tom Segura included, Joey Diaz included.
And now she's got her own fucking show coming out on BET Plus. That's crazy.
And Leanne said to me, so we're doing something with this podcast that's kind of interesting. So we were going to do a double podcast. Me and Leanne would do one, I would do one, but I kind of wanted to be there for both. And so I said, why don't we just do it in the studio? And Leanne's studio is right next door. I go, we'll just do it in the studio. We'll do one. And then I'll leave and you do 30-minute podcast with her of the questions you have. Because Leanne watched her pilot and Leanne pulled me aside after. By the way, Pat's gone. Doesn't need a lie. Leanne's like, this podcast, this fucking episode of BET, this Miss Pat show is fucking hilarious. And I was like, for real? She goes, Bert, it is funny. Rogan even said the same thing. He's like, this is shit you're not finding on television. And that's probably why it's on BET Plus. But so everyone support her August 12th.
Yep.
Miss Pat show. And then you will hear our podcast. And then if you would like, there's a 30-minute extended version that is the beginning of Leanne's podcast, Wife of the Party, wifeotp.com. You get it where podcasters are, or you get your podcasts. But if you start Leanne's podcast, you will hear me get up and leave, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then you will hear Leanne start her interview with Pat. And Leanne's, by the way, a way better interviewer than I am. She read Pat's book right before Pat came over for the second time and watched her pilot. So those are the questions Leanne's asked. Me and Pat, we just talk about fucking favorite hip-hop artists, best hip-hop artists that can fuck.
The Kaley Cuoco episode.
We talk about the Kaley Cuoco episode pretty aggressively. We talk about the 85 South guys. I'll be doing their show. Hopefully when I'm down in Macon. But yeah, so you guys will enjoy it. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, my friend, my daughter's auntie, and Leanne's soul sister, Ms. Pat. What is it when they come in and evaluate how much your home costs? Home appraisal is racist inherently.
Oh, yeah. That's why you get white people. You take your black pictures down. They just had a big thing in Indiana where a lady house came up on the almost $2,000. I mean, I'm sorry, almost $20,000 cheaper. And what happened was she took her pictures down and got her white friends to do it. And it fucking raised out the roof.
You're kidding.
So
home appraisal inherently is racist by design. It's basically, it's so funny is that
what it's called is to keep the niggas out your neighborhood. Let's just keep it real. We're friends. Cool. Yeah. I know you're not racist. This is your podcast, but I can say that. Just keep your niggas out. You want to give them less. You don't want them to move into your neighborhood. So what you do, you outprice them, and then when you go to appraise their house, you make it lower so they don't get enough money to move to the next nice neighborhood.
It's insane to me that is something that is basically just greenlit in society, is that you would look at a house and a land, and based on the skin color of the inhabitants of that neighborhood, you would go, oh yeah, that's crazy.
But you know what else? You can walk. Can you check on my family baby? Because they didn't know how that's car. I'm sorry, you producer. Fuck that shit.
Hang on, where's Andrew?
I'll go check.
No.
No. I got a text message. Where you going? No, I got a fucking text message. You know,
Andrew should have gotten them, right?
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's.
Let me call him. Let's tell him walk straight back. Ain't no dogs, is it?
No.
No, black folks scared of dogs.
Well, we have dogs, but they're in the gated off backyard.
Yeah, I'm scared. I don't fuck with no dogs. Hold up. Come on, answer the fucking phone. Answer the fucking phone.
Maybe they went to Starbucks with Andrew.
No, they're out there with the driver.
Oh.
Dumb bitch. I don't know who I hate young people. All they want to do is fucking text.
I remember. Oh, hey, I gotta change.
Are y'all coming in?
Today.
Yeah, we were talking to.
Bye. I ain't got time.
So, it's interesting to me is that something like that is something that I would assume just throughout my life. What are you talking about? What like that's where I'd go. Like you go, yeah, that's racist. I go, come on, what are you talking about? And then you start realizing, I don't know why, I don't know what it was. It might have been that article about that woman in Indiana, but and then you start going, wow, if I just saw that, I wonder what other shit I kind of been letting slide by that I've not.
That you not.
Come on in.
Just have a seat anywhere. I mean, you would be surprised. Like when you go, you can't come over here. You
grab a seat. We have a room over there as well, and then there's an outdoor seating area. It's a little hot though.
But our dogs are out there.
Yeah, but there's another full room in there if you want to grab a seat or grab a seat at the bar.
There's a couch and chair in the other room. Y'all are welcome to all this. Whatever.
But like when you selling a house and you're a black person, you know to get more value out of your house to take your fucking family photos down. Like I live in an all white neighborhood, and my house in my neighborhood, the houses go real fucking quick. But everybody know I'm about the only black person with the ranch there. So I'm going to white that bitch up. I might have to get you to come over there and say, hey, this your house. So I get you.
Do some real white shit out in the front yard.
Yeah, just take your shirt off, Bert. That's what my next door neighbor do.
Play some cornhole with the kids.
Yeah, play some cornhole, because black folks don't play cornhole. We play horseshoes.
I love horseshoes.
But I mean, that's what they do. Everybody know that when you selling the house, you have to. Also, the colors that you put on the wall represent the race. Black folks like color. They like they'll fucking orange a room up in a minute. Burnt orange. I got a girlfriend. Everything this bitch do is burnt orange. I'm like, what the fuck is burnt orange? That bitch always decorating in burnt orange. And she been doing this for about 20 some years. She love burnt orange. Her fake leather couch is burnt orange and brown. and beige. Them her three colors. She put her whole house is burnt orange, beige, and brown.
I like those colors. Those are great colors.
Yeah, but 10 years ago.
Baby.
I'm like, bitch, if you don't update this house, but them her fucking colors.
I remember being with Patrice O'Neal, and he was making fun of me because my shoes and my shirt weren't matching. Like I would just put together an outfit willy nilly, and he would be like, like my hat, my shoes, and like he's like, none of those go together. No. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And now that I'm into shoes more and definitely into hats, I do
You
feel
know better.
awkward.
You know better.
Yeah, like
You know
it's
better.
find it fucking so fascinating.
And white boys are the king of dirty ass shoes. And if you
Oh, hold
y'all
on. Don't hang on 1 second. Can I tell you what's crazy? By the way, I hope this doesn't offend anyone in Serbia. When we went to Serbia, no one had clean shoes. No one had clean shoes. I think that nice, clean. You get a pair of good shoes and you wear them. And by the way, this is my assessment based on not talking to anyone, but going through wardrobes. So they get me a pair of like Stan Smiths, and then they dirty them up, and I go, whoa. Like I don't wear dirty shoes, and they'd be like, yeah, but they're your shoes. They'd be dirty, right? And I was like, no. I wanted to be like, no. I'm a fucking millionaire. You think I'm wearing dirty fucking shoes? Like you're out of your fucking mind. Like I'm throwing those away for $35. I'm buying another pair of Stan Smiths, but they would get them dirty as fuck. And our director was like, "What is wrong with the shoes?" And we thought it was cultural. And growing up, I remember, you'd get a new pair of shoes and your friends would all step on them, and that was not something black dudes did.
Oh, you get your ass beat.
Pat, I remember. Do you want to hear something even crazier? So I go to play basketball for the first time in LA. I don't have basketball shoes, so I go to the Beverly Center. And I go to buy a pair of Jordans to play basketball in.
Oh shit! You probably bought the wrong Jordans.
I buy a brand new pair of Jordans, and I walk out, and Kevin Hart sees me, and he comes over and he grabs the bag like he was like joking, like give me those Jordans, and he goes, "What did you get? What are you getting Jordans for? What did you get Jordans?" And I go, "I'm playing basketball today," and he goes, "Hey man, you don't play basketball in Jordans." I went,
no!
What? And he goes, "You don't. Please tell me you're not playing basketball in those shoes." I go, "Yeah, that's why they're basketball shoes." And he goes, No. Those aren't basketball shoes. I go, "Kevin, they're the greatest basketball players in the world's shoes. I'm going to wear them to play basketball." And he goes, "Bert, please don't play. But go in and get yourself a pair of shoes that you can beat up and play basketball in." I go, "Kevin, it's fine." I showed up at the court and everyone mocked me. They're like, "Oh my God, I want to beat you up and steal your shoes just so you don't play basketball in them."
Because you can't get that crease in them.
It's all of a sudden you're fucking up a brand new pair of nice shoes that you would wear out.
Yes.
That was something I learned as well.
And you probably bought the collector pair, and you probably, I'm surprised they didn't take them from you because you didn't know what the fuck you doing. Like my friend, he collect Jordans.
Yeah.
He only buy like what Jordan played in, and if he would not let them get a crease in them. You know, like if you bend your feet. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think he walked like a fucking flat foot. He walked like a fool. Yeah, and he just, and if you notice, like I remember back in the day, black people would take a rag, a washcloth, and they would walk around with it, and they just wipe their shoes off all day. That's what the drug dealers used to do. Just wipe their shoes off. You be at the club, don't you step on my fucking shoes. I mean, stepping on your shoes could start a damn fight.
Oh yeah. What? I watched T.I. You're friends with T.I., right?
I love me some T.I.
I watch. It's so fun to watch. By the way, I'm not comfortable talking about racial stuff with other black people in the room.
Oh, they
Isn't that
black.
crazy?
No,
but like I'm just being honest. Like I can talk to you about anything.
That's my fucking daughter.
I know, but I start going
women.
like I start
she
going
eat white women.
Just one time. Watching T.I. and Tiny go through Europe has been such an enjoyable, because you can't take Atlanta out of those two human beings. And when you watch them interact with people in Venice, like they gave him a very nice rosé, and T.I.'s like, "You ain't got no ace of spades in here." By the way, I know, and he goes, "Rick Ross got a rosé," and I'm just thinking, I don't know how good Rick Ross's rosé is, but it's such a marketing thing that T.I. believes that Rick Ross would have the best rosé. You're in fucking Venice, Italy. You're going to get on a private yacht. You're going to get really good rosé. And I watched him sip it, and he did not like it. He was like, "Ugh."
Don't post this. This ain't coming out to the show. Okay.
But I ended up drinking rosé like T.I. He just had a disdain for it. But to watch him and Tiny go through.
I saw them. They was beautiful. It was their anniversary.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, they were celebrating I don't know how many years it was, but they celebrating their anniversary. And I watched several clips. I watched them.
12. They were in Amsterdam. They were in Venice. That's the other thing that's crazy is like, I'm fascinated by like watching someone like Big Boy from Outkast, T.I. I think it's South. I don't really care much about, but like the Southern hip hop guys that I grew up listening to watch them experience things globally is
Yeah.
fascinating to me.
Yeah.
You know, like there's certain things that I feel like Southern wise, like to watch Big Boy make lobsters. Like he takes such a clean food and makes it so unhealthy. He covers it in so much goddamn butter.
Yeah.
It's just like more butter and more butter.
More butter and more butter, and that shit be delicious.
Oh.
And then you get what is it? Nicaragua, when you get real full, what is it called? Oh, itis. You get itis. You know what itis is?
No.
When a black person get real full and they ready to go to sleep. So time you finish eating, you ready to go to sleep. You get itis. Boy, that damn butter get on you, and you be feeling heavy, and your heart get to beating fast. You got to lay down. You're sweating.
Let me tell you, there's a weird thing about growing up in the South that I think Leanne probably has too. Leanne's trainer, his family grew up like a county over
In
from
Cedartown. You know where Cedartown is? It's south of
Cedartown.
Rome, north of Carrollton. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I heard of it.
Yeah,
I know where
Cedartown.
Carrollton is.
So my trainer is a black man, and his both parents are from Cedartown. He grew up in New Orleans, but he used to spend all summer. And Cedartown was like 30 minutes from where I grew up. So we have a like shorthand and a way of talking to each other that nobody else understands in his whole group because nobody's from that part of the country.
Wow.
So he can coach me like that. He can tell me what to do, and I'm like, got it. And he'll be yelling at my friend, no, that's not what I said. And she's like, he's yelling at me. I go, he's actually not yelling. He's just talking to you really passionately. And she'll constantly say, he just yells at me all the time. And I'm like, I swear to you, he's not yelling at you. If he was yelling at you, it'd be terrifying.
People think I be yelling too, and I'm like, no, I said I'm
that's how you
fucking
talk.
talking,
Yeah.
and I'm excited. I'm excited about this situation, and you'll know when I'm yelling, cause oh God, everything comes loose. You be all kind of motherfuckers and some bitches. If I'm talking and I'm calming and I'm not cussing your ass out, I'm not yelling. But time you get up, you know, I'm big and I'm black. Time I stand up and my voice carries, you're yelling. I'm not fucking yelling.
Yeah. Didn't know.
That's very Southern.
So what was that like?
very
What's that like
Southern.
when you go into, you just did your show.
It's so good, the Miss Pat show on
Thank
TVT.
you.
It was you.
It's
That's
so
why it's
good.
good. It's because it's you.
Yes.
No one fucked it up.
No one fucked it up. And you know what? It's 5 years in the making.
I know. I feel like. Can I tell you? I give up on shit really quick. Like I give up very quickly on stuff. You fucking willed this show into existence.
Yes. Me, Lee Daniels, Brian Grazer. I mean, and I went through 3 writers. And the hardest part is when you new to this shit and you really want it to happen. So you've been led by people, which is the writer, and you like, well, my biggest thing was, am I gonna let this motherfucker do this to me, or am I gonna speak up? But
That's it. Well, hang on. Let's stop there because that is an interesting. That's an interesting dance in this business because I will say, and I have said, and I've said this to Leanne. Let them do everything they want to do to you to get made. I've always believed in that. Get me the money to get on location with the trucks, the cameras, and the people, and then I'm going to do what I do. And I don't mean this disrespectfully, but I'm gonna make sure that it's mine. I want everyone to be happy getting up in the thing, and then when you guys are all happy with what you get, the second this camera goes on, then it's mine, and I'm making it mine. I did that. I've done. That's how I operate because I know how hard it is to get things made. And I've watched projects get shut down when you start putting your foot down and going, no, this is what I want. Now you took the opposite route, and I think you had to. I think that I'm surrounded by so many white men that they're going to do white men right in that situation. And if you don't do that, you get shoehorned into this fucking bullshit of what they think you are.
Yeah.
Correct?
Well, the good part about it, like, it was based off my life.
Yeah.
And to me, when you wasn't doing my life, then I was like, hey, that's not me. I won't say that. So the hardest part with dealing with the writers, the 2 before we got the right one, is they wouldn't listen. You out here in Hollywood, everything is done in a certain way, tied in the same fucking bow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not what we're gonna do. That's not me. I'm not Claire Huxtable. I don't fucking chop vegetables, okay? I don't speak the correct English. I'm a convicted felon. I'm on TV. I want to give you something different and a little bit realer, which is my fucking life, but funnier. I was very you run into, when they give you these writers, they have what they have in their head. One thing I learned about writers and comedians, writers will fight over what they think is funny versus what you think is funny. And that's one of the biggest problem I had with some of the, motherfucker, you can't out funny me.
Right.
And when we talking about me, I know what me would say. And it was hard. It was scary. You think about the money, but then at the end of the day, I said, well, shit, I can go steal what Fox paid me. I'd rather get rid of this writer. I can go steal this shit. Or I'd rather not have a show. Because I don't want to be out there, with some bullshit. If this show only go one season, one thing you can't say is that it ain't motherfucking good and it ain't funny. It'll be because people didn't bring their ass over to BET Plus and watch it. Yeah. It's a good show.
Can I tell you, it
is a good show. I can't wait to talk about it. I watched the first episode, so I can't wait to talk about that.
I get territorial for BET because
it's Plus,
but BET in general, because with so much diversity happening in all of mainstream media, I look at a place that's been the lighthouse in the fog for what you would arguably call the culture is hip hop and then you go, I wonder if BET's just sitting there like, yeah, we've been diverse our whole fucking career. We've been having black directors for a long fucking time.
Right?
Where the fuck has Hollywood been?
That's our whole model, right?
Yeah.
So what's BET Plus?
BET Plus, it's like Netflix. They have a streaming service.
Yeah.
So it's only 18 months old. It's new. What was crazy is once I shot the pilot.
I would have loved to have been in the room when they came up with the idea of BET Plus. A bunch of black people in the room going, should we start a streaming service? And you're like, I don't know. I kind of use my cousin's login. Like they're all just sitting around going, I'm not certain we have the right demographic to start a streaming service.
Well, they're working on a lot of other original. I think that Tyler Perry is also a part of BET Plus, and which is a part of Viacom and Paramount. So overall, the umbrella is fucking huge.
Oh, so once you subscribe for that thing, then BET Plus is in that umbrella, under the
Paramount.
umbrella.
Yeah, part of Paramount, right?
Well, I think BET right now is a standalone. BET is a part of Paramount, but BET Plus standalone.
Oh,
but it's all Viacom in one. Mm-hmm. But the fuck was I about to say? When we was what was crazy is when Hulu shot the pilot. Hulu originally got the show from Fox and shot the pilot. And what was weird about Hulu what was great about Hulu is that they did a great fucking job of helping us put the pilot together, what you just watched. Their notes was great. They was understanding. The people who bought the show really fucking got it. But you always got some execs who don't get it. Somebody don't get what being black in America is. Because if you seen in the show, when I shoved the son, that person thought I was being mean. No, motherfucker, I'm being a mama. You ain't shoving your son, that motherfucker down there in the basement making a bomb and becoming a school shooter because you letting him do what the fuck you want to do. Yeah. You ain't talking to this fucking kid. So I remember when we was shooting the pilot, it was so much excitement, everybody there, and I'm trying to pull everybody to the side and say, they're not going to pick this up. I just felt it in my bones. And it's like, what are you talking about? I said, they're not going to pick this shit up. And I was like, why? I said, because they don't get it. And it was like, you don't know what you're talking about. 6 months later, they dropped it. I would never forget, it was Valentine's Day. I was in Raleigh, North Carolina, doing a show at a new improv, and Lee Daniel called me and with damn near cracker in his voice, and he said they dropped it. And he said, but I promise you I'll find a home for it. And I did not feel like he was not going to find a home. I said, I got a sold out show. I got to go out here and perform. I didn't care. But I knew, I picked up on spirits, and I knew that somebody would pick it up. Mm-hmm. A couple weeks later, they said BET Plus picked it up, order 10. I said, what the fuck is BET Plus? Not even I knew what BET Plus was. And they said they got a streaming service. I said, they do? But I was a little hurt, go from Hulu, then you go to BET Plus. But then I had to say, hey, I'm gonna fuck with who wants to fuck with me. Plus, this is a new streaming platform. Hopefully, I am their Handmaid's Tale to like Hulu was like Handmaid's Tales to Hulu.
You need something to bring people to the platform.
And I think this show will. It's
so good. Let me tell you what I like about this show. I like a lot. I watched the pilot last night. It reminds me of Roseanne.
Okay.
But it reminds me also of I kept saying, I've never seen anything like this before. And I've read your book twice. Mm-hmm. And so I really feel like I know your history as much as you've revealed it in your book. And I was like, this is so authentically Pat. And what we liked about shows like Roseanne was that was pretty authentically Roseanne. And so many people are exactly like you. Not exactly, but exactly. Like they shove their son when they're trying to make a point.
Yeah.
You know, and they curse at I curse at my kids.
Yeah.
But we don't talk about that.
No.
We don't show that publicly.
No.
And I thought that's brilliant because for me, I watch something that I'm familiar with and completely unfamiliar with at the same time. You know, like we were talking about earlier with my trainer. Him yelling is not yelling to me. So your yelling in that pilot was not really yelling to me. I thought it was awesome. I liked the acting. I liked the casting. I liked your kids. I liked the stories that you dealt with each kid. I liked your husband. I liked your relationship with your husband. You were amazing. And I know you're playing yourself, but you were funny and fun and relaxed. And I enjoyed every single minute. And you know what I do when I help Bert is I wait to see when I stop paying attention. So that's when I say to him, hey, there's something going on here. I'm not paying attention. There was not one single minute where I stopped paying attention.
Wow.
And I was like, this is a good show. I never, ever dropped out of it. Like I never got distracted. I couldn't wait to see what happened next. And I also thought that it's refreshing. I feel like we've been so freaking PC for so long that it was refreshing to have some shit in there. The cursing. You said motherfucker one time, and I was like, yes, thank you. I say motherfucker. That's our safe word. I loved it. I really, genuinely loved it. And I'm not just saying that because you're my friend and we know each other. I really did. I will watch it every time it comes on.
Thank you. We really wanted it to feel real. We wanted to come in. We had conversations that real people have. Like, honestly, you know, like, the pilot is about school shootings. You know, when on the plane, when I'm sitting on the plane with the white lady and she was talking about when I was like, well, hell, I can't remember word for word what it was, but it was a whole conversation was about school shooting, which I got that idea because I used to fly Southwest and I would block the seats off, you know, Southwest, you say what the fuck you want. But I would always block it off for a white person because I wanted to have an uncomfortable conversation about race. And it's usually would be white men. And 90% of the time I could get them to participate.
Oh, yeah.
But they would get red and fluctuate and uncomfortable. But I'm like, hey, I'm here to listen to you. I want to know why you feel the way you feel. And we talk about race. And I think that's what's wrong with the country. We don't have these uncomfortable conversations. That's why we had it. That's why we had that conversation on a plane about the lady was like, do you really think the police would have shot him? And I was like, do you realize these people can get fucking $4 million every time they shoot your child? And then the other lady said, what the fuck she said behind me? Oh, and then they tax
and then they tax half of it. You only keep half of it, something like that. Yeah.
Which is funny. We wanted to touch on real shit. I mean, we talked about in one episode, derogatory episode. It's a word in there that's going to, oh, you just wait till you get to that episode. The word chink is in there.
That's awesome.
But I mean, we talked about him, them, and they and there. That's the new shit that pronouns, what they call themselves. That was really true to me. My daughter Garyana had a kid over, and I was like, "Why you got this boy?" And he was like, "I'm them, there, and there." I don't give a fuck who you is. Get your ass up out here. You got a dick, you know?
Right. But see, I think those conversations are so healthy because no one will have them. It
on
sucks.
TV they won't.
And you know,
no, on TV they won't.
They totally won't. But they need to because how do you get past anything if you don't talk about it, or at least be curious about something and try to learn? Yeah. You can't learn anything.
I mean, if you don't sit down, you just can't say, I got a black friend, right? You got a black friend. And I love when you ask me stuff about race. I love, because I know you're hard. Yeah. I know you're not fucking racist. I know you really care about me. I remember when the pandemic hit, you called me and said, are you good? You, Joe Rogan, a couple other people, and I'm like, I have a savings, but thank you, rich motherfuckers. But I remember you checking in on me, and to me, that meant a lot to me because I'm not where you at, but you know, and I really needed the road work. But thank God when the pandemic hit, I was fucking writing my episode for my TV show, so I was getting paid. So you know, when y'all checked in on me. Just you checking in on me meant a lot to me. It told me where your heart really was as a friendship. You know.
Well, I think. I mean, I try not to like. I have a weird thing about it now because it gets so volatile. My favorite thing in the world are uncomfortable conversations about race. My favorite thing in the world. Freshman year at Florida State was they had segregated the dorm floors. There was one for black chicks. There was one for black dudes. There was one for white dudes. And this is, I mean, I know that sounds crazy to hear right now, that people would go, there's no way a college did it. By the way, Tallahassee is a segregated city. Completely. You have FAMU, you have Florida State. I mean, just in general. We went down, me and this guy, Jeff Hartley, went down to we were going dorm floor to dorm floor meeting chicks. And we get to the black floor, it was the second floor, and we met these girls and we had so much fun with them, but it was just busting balls and talking about like just everything. We ended up hanging out in their dorm room. We had beers when we were drinking, and it was one of my favorite conversations I've ever had, but because I didn't know anything growing up about any diversity, about anything. The fact that they thought we smelled different was
y'all.
It was, but I love those. And now you get to a place where you go,
y'all do smell different.
Apparently we smell like wet dogs. And so
I don't know what black person sat around and thought that white people smell like white dogs.
Dude, did you see what just happened to Matt Damon? Matt Damon said
he used to say the F word.
But like last week, apparently, like he was saying, like, yeah, I stopped saying it because I said it at the dinner table, in a joke, and my daughter wrote this like letter to me and said, "Dad, you got to stop saying it." And
that's what my episode is about.
And Matt Damon was like, and then all of a sudden, Matt Damon's trying to be a good guy, right, and say a good thing. I don't say that word, but then this honest conversation is twisted by the media, and people hear what he just said. He doesn't know what he said because he's been famous for too long. People go, so wait, you were saying the F word like up to a month ago? And he was like, huh? What? And they're like, wait, yeah. And then
in my house?
Yeah, in your house to your daughter? Wait, you called your daughter the F word?
Yeah.
Like, and then Matt Damon's like, no. And then he had to backpedal and have a lawyer write a statement saying, it is a word I heard growing up. I never used it in my personal life. Now he's backtracking to the point where it's like,
who gives a fuck if he says fuck?
My point is, there are so many snipers out there, and I know you've seen those trolls.
Oh, yeah.
That wait for you to slip up, wait for you to say something that's off key. I remember talking to Snoop, and Snoop said, I said something, and he goes, I can't wait to get drunk and high and sing your songs back to you. And he said something. He goes, when you listen to my music, do you sing the N-word? And I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, you think I don't? And I remember Snoop being like, you sing the N-word? And I was like, Snoop, you put it in the song. Like, what? It's not. But a simple conversation like that, where you would have that with Snoop. I had the same conversation with Trinidad James, and he was like, "You sing it?" And I was like,
"At your house?"
I'm not going to sing it to his face, but like when I'm by myself in my car, are you being fucked? I'm going to all gold everything. You think I'm going to? What do you think I'm going to not sing? 39% of that song? 39% of that song. 39% of that song is just the N-word. I don't sing it with my kids in the car, but if my windows are up and the aircon's on, and my mouth is covered by tinted windows, and I remember the day I started rolling my windows up to sing the word. I remember in college, and I was at the corner, and there was just a white dude on the corner, and I was like, wait, I was listening to South Circle. It used to be this Swab House was this collective of artists out of like Tennessee or Houston, and South Circle was like my favorite. By the way, I used to think there's two dudes in South Circle. It was like Throw and Mr. Mike. And Mr. Mike, have you ever heard of? Okay, yeah. And so I thought, can I tell you, when I thought Mr. Mike was who's in Run the Jewels? Killer Mike. I thought when Killer Mike came out, I thought it was Mr. Mike, and I've been waiting for him forever. And then I was like, God, he got good. And this is very different. But you go on 85 South and they say, do you sing the M word when you say it? And you go, yeah. And then all of a sudden that is snipered, and the peril of that conversation isn't worth it.
So you learn this when you go do some place like 85 South. Where my coffee at? You let me have it, baby.
Thank you.
Can you pass my coffee, please? You would say shit like, do you say the N-word when you sing and rap something? You say none of your motherfucking business. That between me, Jesus, and the radio in the car.
That's right. Excellent answer.
But
That's what you say.
Yeah.
Because they're looking for anything racist. I mean, look what they doing to DaBaby. I mean, I don't know
dying
what
to
the
talk
fuck.
to you because
I don't know.
You know what it is. Are you ready? Oh man, see, this is one of those things I probably shouldn't say. Probably shouldn't say. But the truth is,
I don't know who he thought was sucking dick in the parking lot. That was so 1990.
yeah, what did DaBaby say? He
I
said,
don't even know what the fuck DaBaby said. He said something. He said, you ain't have AIDS or HIV. Then wave your.
He said you ain't having sex if you ain't gay and having sex like in the parking lot with other guys. If you ain't in the parking lot, get your dick sucked. Yeah, by other guys.
So I guess he just got happy. Somebody said, I think it was what's his Chris Brown who said, do your songs and get the fuck off stage. Don't ad-lib, nigga. It's gonna get you in trouble. Don't ad-lib. Shut your fucking mouth.
Right?
what a fucking weird thing to say. If
who is getting
if
their
you don't
dick?
have AIDS, put your phones in the air. It's like such an odd.
Look, but the fucked up part is AIDS is almost cured. So what the fuck? People suck AIDS dicks these
AIDS
days.
isn't a death sentence, DaBaby.
Wait,
DaBaby's different than Lil Baby, right?
oh, don't ask me
Okay,
about
DaBaby's the one that had the great music video.
The funny ones.
DaBaby is he a comedian too?
Your
Your
flashlight's
lights
on.
on the phone.
Oh.
I don't know.
No,
who,
DaBaby
it's
has-
too many babies and it's too many littles. So I don't keep up with them motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Only one I like, my favorite rapper right now, that's new, is that goddamn Lil Nas. Oh my fucking God. I was at the BET Awards. I was at the BET Awards. Y'all gotta be quiet. We can hear y'all. I was at the BET Awards and motherfucking Lil Nas walked by with a dress on. And I said, Lil Nas, how you gonna shut down the real bitches? You making the real bitches look bad. He was gorgeous.
I love when Lil Nas, so Leanne, I'm only because you're not into
You know
I know
music.
who Lil
'Cause-
Nas is.
No, but
And I
Lil-
saw him in the dress.
No,
It was
but
awesome.
Lil Nas did, Lil Nas came out as gay and everyone was like,
Yep.
cool, right? And I think some people, it showed their homophobia a little bit, the way they were behaved to
They always
hearing that he was gay.
say, you trying to push gayness on me because he kissing a man. Well, I look at it like this, because I mean, I used to feel the same way until my daughter started eating pussy and then my eyes came open to, hey, that's just what they eat. I enjoy sucking dick back in the day before vertigo kicked in at a certain age in my life. So, I can't knock nobody for what the fuck they do. So, if you getting uncomfortable by people showing love, then maybe you're really interested in what the fuck they're doing and you're fighting against that inner self. Because I was at the BET Awards when Lil Nas kissed the man and I was like, oh, Lil Nas, we on TV. What the fuck? he caught me off guard with the kiss, but it was beautiful. But my daughter is gay and then the creator of my show is gay. And they was in the back, do that shit, Lil Nas. I said, well, do the shit, Lil Nas. But goddamn, I forgot we was on TV.
I was fist pumping for Lil Nas because he came out as gay and everyone was like, you could hear everyone go, yeah, we're cool with it. But why does that even matter? Why does that even matter?
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
that's how they were behaving. And you were like, okay, I think you're not really cool with it. I think you're just saying what you're supposed to say. And then Lil Nas was like, not only am I gay, I'm going to eat the devil's asshole on.
I saw it.
And that video, I started fist pumping going, no, that's him putting a flag in the ground going, I am very gay. All the shit you think I do, I definitely do. And I loved it. I loved that.
I'm a Lil
But
Nas fan.
I love the agitator. Like I love the agitator and
I don't know why you would love an agitator because you're definitely not an agitator.
No, but it's
He
like,
clapped back too. He clapped back on their ass.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, you just want to eat my dick." Pretty much that's what he
Yeah.
be on there saying.
and DaBaby said, if you don't have HIV, put your hand. If you are one of those dudes, this is what I love about DaBaby. It was a little too specific. If you're not one of those dudes that's out in the parking lot, over by that Civic, that's sucking dicks. You know the one? Over by the... It was just, all right, never mind. Someone told me about that. By the way, I really like DaBaby. I loved, he has that music, is his one the music video
With
where
the
they're all
bear?
dancing in the street and the white girls twerking upside down? Look, DaBaby's really fucking good.
Yeah,
And that's the
but
thing about
he
forgiveness.
just lost
If the
it.
artist is good, I need to forgive them.
I mean, you know, people make mistakes, and you know, he young, he got money, and I mean, I think this kid, I think DaBaby said, if I'm not, quote me if I'm not wrong, he been molested. Is he the one that said that? He been through some issues.
Super open. That's such a pivot from the two personalities of
Well, you know, sometimes, you know, when you in that moment and you done made it, and I don't know if you've been molested. There's so many of them, so many stories I hear about different one of them. I hope I ain't mixing it up. Correct me if I'm wrong. But, you know, he was in the moment and he said the wrong shit.
This podcast is brought to you by Stat Hero. Do you know that 85% of the people who play daily fantasy sports lose? Mac, put your hands down. My dog's sitting right next to me. I'm sorry. And I got my brace on. Is that really that surprising? What's your record at fantasy sports? I know mine's, I'm in that 80%. You're playing against thousands of other lineups, not to mention experts who have more tools and more time. You don't stand a chance. Introducing Stat Hero, the first ever daily fantasy sport book that puts the player in control and winning within reach. Here's how it works. Stat Hero shows you their lineups and dares you to beat them. It's you versus the house in head-to-head fantasy matchups. You name your stakes, winner take all. You have the advantage. Stat Hero is showing you their lineups ahead of time. Nobody does that. Nobody does that. I'm telling you, this is unheard of. In my 20 plus years of fantasy sports, come on, man. I'm telling you, it's a great way to play that's different than the other guys because you have so much control. Stat Hero is DFS the way it was meant to be played. One-on-one. Play Stat Hero now and change the odds. Go to stathero.com/Bertcast. Sign up for free, and right now you can get 3 times back on your first play. They're giving you a 300% match. That's unheard of. Go to stathero.com/Bertcast. stathero.com/Bertcast. This podcast is brought to you by Noom. My diet right now is, here's the problem is I don't even know what's good and what's bad. I mean, I know it's bad. And then I know it's good. And then all this stuff in between, like eggs. Is eggs good? Talked to Scurry the other day. And he's like, no, egg whites, man. That's what you got to eat. And I was like, egg whites, like, are eggs bad food? Noom is here to help you change how you see food with a psychologically based approach that looks at what you eat, but also how you eat. Instead of making you feel guilty or regretting, Noom empowers you to keep going. Here's what they do. Noom has a cognitive behavioral approach that helps you unlearn bad habits and better understand your relationship with food. Mine is fairly aggressive. Considering I have this on and I can't sweat for another week, Noom will be my crutch, my cane to get me into a healthier. Here's the deal. One size doesn't fit all. Choose your goal and Noom will personalize a weight loss program for you. Boom. 80% of Noom users finish the program and over 60% have stuck with their goals for at least a year. With Noom, taking care of your health is empowering and instead of stress-inducing. It is fucking stress-inducing. But it's empowering. Once you get on a little bit of a track where you're like, that's 3 days in a row, man, I'm feeling fucking good. That's the empowering part. No need to fear ruining the whole program with one day off. Noom will help you get back on track. I am always falling off track. All you need is a daily 10-minute check-in. No gruely early morning or huge chunks out of your day. Here you do. This is what you go. Start building better habits for healthier, long-term results. Sign up for your trial at noom.com/Bertcast. That's NOOM.com/Bertcast. I think people, like LeeAnn lost her virginity very young.
Yes,
right?
yes.
That's what they do down south. They fuck you and make you learn how to cook.
They fuck you and make you learn how to cook.
Right. They ain't nothing else to do.
But DaBaby lost his virginity when he was 5?
I can tell you.
That is fucking.
So let me tell you a story. I used to be a medical assistant, right? Nobody really fucking knows. But when I thought I wanted to go into nursing, figure out they wasn't going to have no convicted felon for selling cocaine, for crack. So before I went into comedy, I used to be a medical assistant. And I worked at this doctor's office. And I won't say who it was. But I had this relative bring their child in who knew I worked at the office. And the child was 6 years old with gonorrhea.
Oh, my God.
The child was 6 years old with gonorrhea. The babysitter had fucked him.
Oh,
the babysitter
my
had fucked him.
gosh.
Yes.
See that, and that's a weird thing because I think so many men hear that and they're like, teacher have sex with a 13-year-old. And everyone's like, I wish my teacher was like that. And you're like, no,
No, you
you're
don't. No.
you're stealing a part of that. You're stealing that person's childhood.
That's right.
Because that's what happened to me. I mean, I had her at 14, you know. So, I mean, I thought it was my boyfriend. It wasn't, but my mama boyfriend also molested me. So, you know.
Yeah, it's interesting to go from, because I remember losing my virginity and being like, oh, I was 17 and I was like, I wasn't ready. I'm not ready.
Well, losing your virginity and having your virginity taken is a totally
different thing.
I lost
you
my
helped
virginity.
put your dick in that
totally
pussy.
involved in it. But when you're 8, that's something that's just
somebody
stolen.
just said, laying
It's
down,
terrible.
let me set this hot pussy on you. And then you wake up and you look, the baby dick is sticking to his drawers. That ain't participation.
No.
That's one-sided.
Evil. That's fucking evil.
Crazy.
It's damaging and it's evil.
That's insane. That's not, I mean, that's just not, you look at like a child, especially when you have children, you know, I think once again, it's one of those things when you read it on paper, you're like, oh, that's horrible. But then when you look at a 5-year-old, you're like, oh, that's fucking criminal.
You know, since I was molested, I never let my kids out of my sight. I don't know if I told you this story, but I was just paranoid. I knew what the fuck I went through. You was not gonna fuck with my children. I remember when she went to college and she said they was having a conversation. She was like, all my friends been molested. She was like, I was the only person that didn't have a molestation story. And I felt so bad. And she called home and told me that, and I was like, I did my fucking job.
You did.
Yeah.
You know,
if
it was
you
something.
can get your kids not molested, that's a pretty big home run as a parent.
Yeah, I just wrote a molestation bit. I don't want to tell it on here, but it is fucking hilarious.
That's great.
Yeah,
because so many people can relate to it.
Yes, because my mama boyfriend molested me, and he did the most creepiest shit at the end. And I'm not gonna give my bit away, but it's gonna be on my next hour. And I've been like throwing it out now on the road when I'm on the road, and people like, this bitch is crazy. But because I want people to be able to laugh at everything, the darkest shit in your life. And I say this every night on stage. I said, I don't give a fuck if somebody stuck their thumb up your ass when you was a kid. Find a way to laugh at it. Maybe they didn't go past the knuckle and they cheated themselves.
They cheated themselves. The funniest molestation bit, I won't say the person's name because I have said it. I don't know if this person wants me to share it. They shared it to me on a podcast, so they know that it's been said. But there were a bunch of comics were talking about getting molested, and then the guy didn't tell his story, and he was in therapy at the time. And he goes to therapy the next day and he says, by the way, edit this guy's name out. Okay. So this guy goes to therapy the next day and he's like talking to his therapist. And he's like, so what's going on? How's comedy? He's like, oh, good, man. Everyone was telling their molested stories last night and I just never got around to mine. And he was like, you were molested? And he was like, nah, not really. But like, you know, weird shit happens when you're a kid. And he goes, well, why don't you tell me the story? He goes, it's not that good of a story. Like, I'm going to tell it to you and you're going to go, you didn't get molested. And he goes, well, why don't you just tell me the story? So he starts telling his story and his therapist's mouth is just open like this, like, huh? And he goes, what? You're making it sound like it's bad. And the therapist looks at him and he goes, would you ever do that to a child? And he goes, oh my God, no. And he goes, you were molested. He goes, oh my God, I was molested. I was fucking molested. It was such a good story where like I couldn't stop laughing. And you think about those things, like I had instances growing up where you go, no, I wasn't molested, but they definitely, held me down on a chopping block or cut it or like a butcher's block in a kitchen and put ice cubes up my asshole. And they're like, you're being
pretty
molested.
aggressive.
And
That's
you're like,
pretty fucking invasive.
It's funny. It also changes the way you behave. Like I always was the guy that at a party to get naked first,
That's why you still naked.
And
you want to be molested.
It's because
he's righting the
that
wrong.
shit that was how boys behaved. When I was like 10 years old, that's how boys behaved. You'd wake up and then they'd put their balls on your forehead and you're like, ah. And then you're like, I guess that's how I behave. And it's so if that had never happened, that group of guys, that had never happened. They were all older. They were all in like high school. We were 10 years old. They were doing that to us. If that had never happened, who would I be? I don't know if I'd be a comedian, to be honest with you.
You know what, Bert? We was actually going to do a molestation episode. And we wrote it and everything. I think it was episode 7. And it was so heavy for me, I scrapped it. But once they picked me up for a second season, I kind of put it together. So, because when you're talking about something like molestation, I want people to be able to relate to it, but I also want them to be able to enjoy it and laugh and heal. Because when you can, like I say all the time, when you can take the darkest shit in your life and you can laugh at it, then you got control of it. So I don't want to put it out there. You just fucking crying, because that's not how I want you to see a black woman or a woman, period, or a boy, been through this shit. I want you to be able to heal and say, I get it, or I understand it, or I'm glad you did that. Like when I'm talking about my life on stage and people come like, oh my God, you're living my life. And they're all races.
That's the crazy thing about your fan base is your fan base is the most diverse group.
Yes.
It's crazy. No one's got a fan base.
But I don't think it's
like
crazy at all.
No, it is.
I don't
and
think
I'll
it's
tell you
crazy
why.
at all, because I think you are such a very real person.
No, but
And people resonate with real more than they resonate with race.
No, you're right. And you're right. And that's why it is. But when you look at how this business is set up to pretty much
to say I am this business set up to say I am a urban, fat, loud black woman.
Right.
But just so happened I fell through the white folks crack, and they's like, how the fuck did this shit happen? Because I wasn't gonna let you guys pigeonhole me. I mean, not you guys, but I wasn't gonna let the fucking industry pigeonhole me. I think I'm unique. I think I got stories. I think I'm funny. I don't dance. I don't split. I don't suck dick. I don't talk about all of that stuff. So I try to find, I don't do a lot of current events. I try to find out what's real to me and other people. Like I was just telling my friend, and I'm talking about menopause, because I'm going through menopause. And I was on the phone where I said, is it common for menopause to hit you in the crack of your ass and tear your panty liners up? But hot flashes go everywhere, right?
Yeah,
but lately, mine has been hitting me in the crack of my ass, and my panty liner is soaked. So I'm like, well, my pussy is never dry, but I can't get
everything entirely. That's funny.
I don't know why they move. Look at their face. I don't know.
They're just like,
it's super fun. You get ready. It's real fun.
I hope that my family wouldn't enjoy me as much as your family enjoys you.
I enjoy my family.
I did stand up, not stand up, but I did a show in front of my daughters the other night for the variety thing. That variety.
Oh,
thing.
congratulations. I saw you on that.
And I made a joke about agents. I almost said Asians. I made a joke about agents.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
We're going to tear this house down if you do that.
I made a joke about agents, and I said that agents are like the female orgasm. You think they don't exist, and it's not real, and then all of a sudden you have one. You're like, shit, I need more of that. It's not the best joke in the world, but my daughters were like, oh. And I was like, what? It's what I do for a living. I don't.
See, what it is, your kids think you guys don't fuck. So, they think we old and we don't fuck. You have to tell them, hey, I suck your daddy dick every now and then.
Do that, Leanne. Do that tonight.
You should tell them that.
Do that.
Talk about that's molestation, like mental.
No, that's not. Because they think we
molestation.
old. They think our pussy's dusty, is in the trash can. And they be like, oh, y'all don't fuck. I be like, we be fucking. When our blood sugar is low and our blood pressure is right, we fuck.
Yeah. Oh, my blood pressure, man. My blood. I follow my blood pressure so much lately.
Yeah.
I'm so into my blood pressure, and it dictates. You ever talk to someone who has really high blood pressure?
It dictates your dick, because if it's high, you ain't got no dick.
I remember trying to jerk off in Brazil one time.
What?
It was in a bathroom, and I was hungover, and I thought that would turn it over for me. Like I was hungover as shit, and I was like, if I jerk off, I'll get a bunch of serotonin in my head, and I'll be able to start my day. And I was like, I remember going like, I bet my blood pressure's through the fucking roof right now, because no one was into it. My hand had barely any blood in it. Like there was nothing. And I had to look at myself in the mirror. I go, I guess I'm not that into you.
Maybe you was drunk.
I was still drunk.
Still drunk. Your dick wasn't woke. Your hand wasn't woke. Your dumb ass mind just say, jack your dick. And your dick's like, I'm asleep, Bert. Your hand was like, I'm not ready, Bert.
I love when you talk to someone who has high blood pressure and then you realize your blood pressure isn't all that bad. And they're like, yeah, the ringing in your ears. And you're like, what? And like, when your blood pressure's up, you have that. It feels like there's a nail in the center of your head and your ears are ringing. And I was like, I've never had that.
Mine's ringing because I suffer with vertigo.
I get vertigo too.
Yeah, I got vertigo from I was just in the hospital probably 6 months ago. I started a diet and I did it on with my fans, and I fucked around and competed against my friend, and we competed against a guy in Australia who climbed mountains. So I at least wanted to come in third place. Oh my God. I walked my ass out that day. I woke up the next morning. The room was spinning. My titties was upside the windowsill. And I'm like, call 911, the bitch is dying.
Oh my God.
And I couldn't see. I was in the hospital for about 6-7 days.
Were you really?
You know what?
That's a long time to be in the hospital.
Well, when you got good insurance, it's like you can stay as long as you want.
Get me out of the hospital the second I get
But
in.
I couldn't see.
want out.
I literally, it would not, this time I had to have therapy. When I went to a therapy, and they turned me upside down. And because what it is when you have vertigo, your hair follicles in your ears that go back and forth to tell your sound to go to your brain.
Yeah.
Well, they get stuck. So this is what they told me. They say my hair follicle is stuck, and they're so small, it's nothing man can do to, So they try to turn you all different kind of ways to get those hair follicles going to keep your vertigo down.
Really?
That's
it helped too.
crazy.
It helped a lot. I mean, I could start to see again. I wasn't dizzy.
You had legit vertigo. I get vertigo.
I walk around with vertigo medication.
Bert
I
doesn't
can
have
tell
vertigo.
when it's
No,
He don't have vertigo.
I have
He doesn't have
subtle
vertigo.
Either that or I'm having a stroke.
He
One or
has
the other.
vertigo,
Vertigo. I have vertigo.
which is
That's where I make other people
imaginary.
dizzy.
It's imaginary.
So who diagnosed you? Your damn self?
What?
Who diagnosed you with vertigo?
Oh, I don't even. Oh no. By the way, that was white guy translating black chick for a second. I was like, huh? What did you just say?
Vertigo.
Yeah, no. I went to the doctor the other day. I had to get a physical to get my surgery, and they always ask you, "Do you feel dizzy?" And I always lie. I go, "No, never feel dizzy." But I do feel dizzy when I put my head on the pillow. Once I hit the pillow, my brain goes shroom, 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 like turns, and it takes a second to settle. And I said, I have to be honest with you because I'm going into surgery. I do feel dizzy at times. Like if I lay down too quickly, I'll get dizzy. And she goes, I think that's vertigo. I don't think it's a stroke. She was taking my blood pressure, and my blood pressure was fine. Did you get vaccinated?
Yeah.
Nice.
Did you?
No, I don't believe in that shit.
yes, he did. Yes, he did. Hey, we all are.
No, yeah.
Yeah, you did.
I just got my first shot.
Really?
Yeah. Don't talk about vaccinations. That bitch over there crazy.
Oh, wait.
She's anti-vaccine. She reads, send me CNN shit.
Let me tell you, I have to side with any African American who decides not to get vaccinated. It makes sense.
It makes
listen,
sense.
it makes sense. I can't agree with you 100% because I believe you should get vaccinated. I do, but I'm also white. I trust the government. I trust doctors. No, but if you're black, you should not trust the government or doctors.
That's real shit.
It's real because
you hear that? Real
this
shit.
did not turn out well for those guys in Tuskegee.
Oh,
Like,
thank you. So many motherfuckers acting like Tuskegee wasn't real, and
it was very real.
Yeah, and they rubbed all that fucking olive oil on their back and gave their dicks claps, and it really was a treatment to draw up big dicks. Yeah. That's what it was. Oh, and it did.
We were just saying, what if? Who was I just saying this with yesterday? Was it Segura? We were saying, what if they gave the vaccination to black people and slowly it was taking away characteristics that made people black? Like all of a sudden your voice couldn't raise past a certain level octave. You were like, wait, how come no one can hear me? No, I'm not loud anymore. Oh shit, my hands aren't moving the way I need them to in a conversation.
Dance.
And then like all of a sudden you're like, shit, I'm saying things like probably and inarguably. Oh, what the fuck's going on? And then all of a sudden they were like, oh, they're turning us white. Oh shit.
We say probably.
Motherfucker. Wait, did I say motherfucker? I motherfucker. Oh God, what's going on?
We say probably and arguably in court.
Yeah,
you want to hear something crazy? So the fan said, well, Miss Pat, before your TV show come out and you really blow, you should do a picnic with us. And I said, let me have a talk with you, white man. Black folks don't do picnics. Do you know where that shit come from? I said, we do barbecue. And he's like, no. I said, picnics is pick a nigga. Back in the day, white folks ate pimento cheese sandwich and watch niggas hanging out of trees. I ain't going to no motherfucking picnic with you, white man. You better take your ass to a barbecue.
Jesus Christ.
You can serve the same food, just call it something totally different.
No, you got a grill. That's what you got. Ain't no black folks don't sit on no fucking lawn with no what is that shit they put down to sit down? A blanket, yeah.
And you got an army of ants running to get your
Yeah,
watermelon and walking away.
Look,
Not water. Why did it have to be watermelon? But you know what I mean. I just thought of the thing you take at a picnic.
Yeah, and then you got to roll over to get up. No, fuck that shit. Give me a bench and let me sit down in the chair and some music, some good old Eyes of Haze. I'm not doing that shit. I'm not doing no fucking. I don't want to eat no pimento cheese sandwich up under no sun. I don't eat fucking pimento cheese either.
You want to know
Why
so funny?
not?
You know
It's so good.
funny?
I love pimento cheese
You know the
sandwiches.
whitest shit, and it's disgusting.
What?
To me, is
What?
cottage cheese and peaches.
I agree.
When you eat that
Ooh,
shit,
hold
that
on.
shit.
I was like,
Cottage cheese and peaches, cottage cheese and pineapple, cottage cheese and anything is fucking good.
I pass.
No.
Hard pass.
that's like baby shit and peaches.
It's gross.
Okay.
Yeah, yeast
gross.
infection. She's a yeast infection.
Yeast infection.
Yeah, because sometimes my drawers do come out like that.
So if that's
That's
the whitest
gross.
shit. What's the blackest shit? What's something you see black people eating? You're like, I could not do that. No, I like pig feet.
No, what are you got to tell me that I'm black.
I know. I like. See, I like.
What is the
everything.
blackest shit you see somebody like? I don't know how you eat that. Now me, since my life's changed a little bit, I can't eat that pottage meat, spam. If I go down that aisle with pottage meat, that shit scares me. But no, what really fucks me up is when we was little, we used to eat chicken feet.
I love chicken feet.
No, it's not. My mama didn't have no teeth, right? So she would ball them with noodles. And back in the day, they was really good. She loved them with the nails on them, and she would stick that foot in her mouth, and she was missing like 4 teeth, and all the little meat be out there. It just be little gristle.
Our friends are Asian, and they make chicken feet.
They're all
a
about
lot.
chicken feet. Yeah.
Oh, she loved that shit.
I love chicken feet.
That's when you know your community going down. If you go in your local Walmart and they got chicken feet, nigga, move. your house about to lose some value.
You know what's interesting to me? When I was in Serbia, I would play. I got really into older, like the older R&B, meaning like Otis Redding, like Bill Withers, like
Drew Hill.
like kind of older, and I would play it, and white Serbian people couldn't tell that it wasn't current. Now, if we play a song, like
that
if I play
old
this
shit?
song, I'm gonna play a song, and you'll hear it immediately and go, "This isn't current," but it's. But they would listen to it and go, "Is that like a new song? This is a song."
So they just didn't have R&B in Serbia. They didn't
Or
have R&B.
black people. They don't have
Ever.
black people.
No, there's no black people in
There's
Serbia.
not. There's
Why not?
I
guys
walked the
just
streets one day for 4 hours because I had to quarantine, but they let me walk around. I saw one Asian person, and that is it.
What's over there?
Everyone else, white people. Everybody's white.
When you hear this, you immediately go, "This is
Yep.
just."
Great song,
And
right?
they'd be like, "Is that new? Who wrote that?" And I'm like, "No, this is like 50 years old. Are you kidding me?" But they couldn't even tell what was current hip hop versus old school, like what we would acknowledge
What the
is.
fuck do they listen to?
They listen to a lot of trance music, like a lot of dance music. Yeah, they like going to a club. And,
That's deaf people music.
yeah, I'm not a fan of trance music.
Yeah, when I was young, this guy, I never forget, he drove a Volvo. And that's when we were putting the boom in the car. And he had the baddest fucking Volvo, hooked up with all the boom in the car. And I didn't know he was deaf. And to somebody was like, that motherfucker, get on my nerve with all that record in that car. He can't hear, he deaf. And I was like, why he got his radio up so loud? But he listened to hip hop, but it was always loud. He had the 30s in the back, the big ass speakers.
Yeah.
But he loved the sound from it.
He could feel it, probably.
Yeah.
See,
Feel
that's
it.
also location wise is whether or not you like bass in your music, is because
South.
yeah, that's the South.
That's totally
Miami.
because and I'm saying this for Leanne mostly, but you know when I first moved to New York, I could not get into New York hip hop because New York hip hop is meant to be listened to in headsets because you're walking around the city. So it's not like meant to be driven to. Like in the South, you drive to that music, like Miami. That all of what we listen to is how we took in our music was driving.
Yeah, because I never could get into, what was that group called? Quest 4? Quest something? Yeah, I couldn't get into that.
I missed the
never
whole.
did either.
I missed that. I never enjoyed the. I would. What was the Cosby Show spinoff of where they went to
Living
college.
Single. I know it was
Different World. Different World had a vein of hip hop that was all like Tribe Called Quest, like the ones where they were it was leather African thing. And so I never got into that thoughtful hip hop. I don't know. I always liked my hip hop.
I couldn't get into it. I mean, I guess it was because, when hip hop first hit my ears for real, it was Luke. What was that pussy song? Pop that pussy, pop that pussy. And I remember my brother pulled up, and I was like, they letting people cuss like that?
Ooh.
And it was Luke. Luke took it to a whole nother level.
I met him. And I called him Uncle Luke, and I was like, I got to tell you, man, my whole high school was you.
And what's that other song about? Me So Horny.
I didn't know that was out of a movie.
Long time.
And in college, when she goes, what do we get for $20? Everything you want. Everything. I didn't realize that was out of a movie. I remember seeing the movie and I was like, they took this out of a song? And they're like, no, asshole. That song sampled that movie. And I went, shut the fuck up. This podcast is brought to you by Bird Dogs. This last Saturday, I woke up, threw on my Bird Dogs. Bird Dogs are the most comfortable and, in my opinion, versatile, fast-drying shorts I have. They are summer wear. They are and when you have one pair of pants and a bunch of activities, these are your go-to pants. If you want to go for a run, go for a jog, go for a walk, like myself, your Bird Dogs are your go-to. So they've got a great liner that supports your junk. Then if you want to get in the pool, they dry off so fast. Get in the pool, hop out, have a cigar, maybe a nice second cup of coffee at 10 a.m. Jump in the car, go over to the store, throw on a t-shirt, go in and get burgers and dogs. That's exactly what I did. And I came home, bought a nice hard seltzer, went out in the backyard, popped a hard seltzer, went over to the grill, started grilling out. Girls had a workout. They jumped in the pool. I jumped in the pool with them, had another seltzer, and enjoyed my damn Bird Dogs. I rock two pairs. I've got the American flag pair and a seersucker pair that are my go-tos. And these days, with my arm hurt the way it is, I can throw them on first thing in the morning, jump in the pool, take a pool bath, and bam, I am done. Here's the great thing about Bird Dogs. Go to birddogs.com and enter the promo code BERT, and they will throw in a free Bird Dogs whistle tip football. That is the go-to summer must-have toy of this summer. It's like those Nerf whistle footballs that you used to have as a kid. That's birddogs.com and use the code BERT, and boom, a free Bird Dogs whistle tip football with your pair of Bird Dogs. You will not be taking these things off, I promise. Game changers in hip hop. Mm-hmm. Game changers in hip hop. Definitely Two Live Crew. Definitely NWA. The first time I heard NWA, I can tell you where I was. I had just lit a cigarette. We were in my Fox in New Smyrna Beach. Sal Carinante put it in, and he's like, "Have you heard of NWA?" And I was like, "No." And I mean, the big thing for us was like the name of the band, and we're like, "Shut up!" Like that was, you just didn't hear a name. The band claimed that word in their name, and we listened to that fucking Easy Does It, Eazy-E song. Mm-hmm. Woke up quick at about noon, just thought that I had to be in Compton. And we were like, shut the fuck. That must have been played non-stop in that car. Okay, ready? Now, by the way, I'm just giving you white perspectives of game changers in hip hop.
Okay.
The Chronic album. When we were introduced to Snoop Dogg, when Snoop Dogg came on, oh my God, everyone was like, who the fuck is this?
Yep.
I mean, the sound of his voice, the way that he slid run.
He was so smooth.
His cadence is really awesome.
Outkast.
No.
Outkast.
Too short.
It's cooler than a polar. Bitch! Oh my God.
I just did something with Too Short. He made bitch so acceptable. He made bitch. You didn't mind a motherfucker calling you bitch if you did it like Too Short did it.
Too Short.
Tupac. I did not like Tupac.
Oh my God.
I just thought he was so gangster. I was like, what is wrong with this boy? And then when he died, I started really listening to his music. Oh my God, he's fucking smart as hell.
I fell in love with right before his album before he went into prison. Well, he was in prison when his album came out, I think. Was it All Eyes on Me, or was that Tupacalypse? I don't know. For whichever one it was, I fell in love with that album, and I remember thinking, this is how innocent I was, and I mean this sincerely. I remember thinking I was bummed out that he had gotten tattoos, because I was like, what does his mom think about that? Like, but he's got that forever. And then I was like, and then I pivoted. By the time his album, when he came out of prison, came out, and his picture was him on the cover in like a leather vest with, I felt like he had 2 watches on, and I was looking at all his tattoos. I was like, oh, I gotta get a tattoo. Like, it was so cool. But Tupac was a real game changer. One of the best. Biggie, when Biggie came out with his album right before Notorious, right before he died.
The first one was crazy.
Oh, I didn't hear the first one until later.
What was the first one? Big Papa. That song there. God. I remember my sister could not stop singing Big Papa.
Man, we're probably glancing over a bunch of them.
Yeah, we are. We're gonna get a bunch of emails. Hey, motherfucker, what about this one? What about this one?
It's crazy when you meet someone, they're like, you didn't listen to Gangstar growing
Biz
up?
Marquise. He just passed away.
I met him.
You did?
Yeah.
You know what? My sister used to love Biz Marquis. Oh, baby, you. And I told myself, I was like, I don't think he can sing. I think something wrong with him. But she loved Biz Marquis. I couldn't get over his lip hanging on every song.
Okay. You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say, because I'm going through a bit of a nostalgic phase for this guy. Like, I'm rooting for a second act in his story is Will Smith. Will Smith, when I first heard Will Smith, I was probably in like 5th
I went to
grade.
a Will Smith concert.
No.
Yes, it was Will Smith, Fat Boys. This is how long
Fat
ago.
Boys.
Fat Boys.
Fat Boys were
Run
so
DMC
fucking
were
great.
amazing.
Run
And I
DMC
love
was
it.
fucking.
Run DMC.
God, we
I
were
saw them
stopping
in
so
concerts
many
too.
good.
So back in the day, we lived right by the Omni, which is probably the Georgia Dome or the Mercedes-Benz Stadium now.
Yep.
Remember the Omni?
Yeah, I remember
They had a
Omni,
skate
yeah.
ring inside. I forgot she
did.
from Georgia. So they used to do all the concerts. So literally you could hear all the fucking concerts right there in the hood if you just listen close enough. And me and my brother would cut grass. I think those tickets was like $8 for good seats back then. It was early 80s. And me and my brother Aunt, we would go to the concerts. And I saw Flavor Flav, Will Smith, and I want to say the Fat Boy, but I'll never forget Will Smith song, Parents Just Don't Understand. And after him, Flavor Flav closed it with that big ass clock on him.
Yeah.
And we was at the Omni. I saw Run DMC. I saw LL Cool J. Back in the day, when we lived in Vine City, they had this little arena outside where they would bring local acts that wasn't really famous, was blowing up, to Morehouse and Marsh Brown's like arena there where they play football, and they would let them do concert. It was summer concert. I saw LL Cool J.
No way.
Yes, I did. I used to send them out back here because I lived in Vine City. And so they would bring them all through the black colleges. They would give them a black college run.
Yeah.
And we lived right there in the background. I mean, we lived right there in Vine City. Just walk through the gate. It was free to the public.
That's
LL
awesome.
Cool J was so good.
Yes.
He was.
And you gotta remember, he
And
was
so
like,
good looking. Oh my
seven.
God.
Hang on, he was 17.
Going back to Cali? Oh my God.
Can I tell you? I just played that for Jimmy Tatro. Jimmy Tatro's in my movie. I was singing in Spanish, right? So we used to sing songs in Spanish, and then I would sing them in Russian when I was in Russia. And I was singing Going Back to Cali, and Jimmy goes, "Hey man, I don't want to call you out on being an old guy, but I think you're singing that song wrong." I was like, "What?" And he's like, "You're singing it wrong. It goes, I'm going back to Cali,
Wrong
Cali."
song.
And I said,
Totally
Jimmy,
wrong
I
song.
said, you're singing the hook of the original song. The original song was LL Cool J, and he's like, who? I was like, LL Cool J. And
Somebody
he was
remade that?
like, Notorious B.I.G. Yeah, it's on his, Back to Cali. I'm going back to Cali.
Going
Cali,
back to Cali. Yep.
Yeah.
Was
And
it
so-
good?
Yeah, it's a great fucking song.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, the lead
I don't
in.
remember that.
Puff calls Big, and he's like still sleeping. He's like, it's so funny. He's like, the plane leaves in 15 minutes or whatever. Like, it's just such like a back way before 9/11 when you could get to the airport in like 30 minutes left. And it's just such an interesting slice of life. And that was on his double album that was huge right before he died. He died right after that in March or February of 1997. 97. Yeah, he died in 97. Tupac died in 96. I remember. Can I tell you the only reason I know that is that me and Biggie were on the Rolling Stone cover together. I was the #1 party animal in the country, and funeral held for Biggie in Brooklyn, and that was in April of '97, and but it's so funny because man, LL Cool J was. Mama Said Knock You Out was a great fucking song.
Yes.
He was 17 when he came out with his first
That's
album.
insane.
I know. Well, that's probably when I first seen him in our backyard in Vine City. I'm telling you, they was on a black college run. We saw LL, the Fat Boys came through there.
I love Fat Boys.
Fat Boys were so.
Who else was out at that time? Salt and Pepper. They came through there.
I bet
It
they
was,
were
you know what I'm
awesome.
talking about in Vine City, where they have the black.
Okay,
It was
who
right
was-
in our backyard. It was free to the public and free to college students.
So wait, who was the
I saw Salt and Peppers in concert too.
who was the other Salt and Pepper? Was it Rex and Effect? Who was there was another Salt and Pepper, like another duo black chick.
SWV?
No, who was it? You know who I'm talking about?
I know you're talking about too, but I can't think of it either. I was
Salt
really
and
into
Pepper was fucking amazing. You goddamn it, there were so many.
Queen Latifah.
I remember.
They just gave her that honorary thing at the BET Awards, Lifetime Achievement Award.
They did.
I remember
She
when
deserves
first came out. What's the girl name? They was very popular. Quisha. Remember? Roxanne Shante.
She was 14 years old.
I remember that shit. It was like 10 of them bitches, wasn't it? Wasn't it like 5 of them?
I just watched a documentary on her.
It was only one? It was
just
Roxanne
one.
and Roxanne Shante.
I think
Was that the same
person.
I think
person?
it's the
Yeah,
same.
that was the same person.
There was a documentary that was just made on that whole thing. By the way, she's still young as fuck. I think she's like 45. She's
That's
not
crazy.
old.
Yeah.
And she still looks good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that the documentary?
I can't. No, Roxanne.
Dude, I remember I make you feel hotter than it is in Grenada. The ROXANNE. Roxanne is who I be.
Roxanne.
I often feel bad for the guys like who started hip hop
Like Curtis Blow.
and all those guys who just
That's who
Fucking
Houdini.
love Curtis
I saw
Blow.
Houdini at that
Houdini.
place. I saw Curtis
Nucleus.
Blow.
Nucleus was
Nucleus
great.
was fucking awesome.
Houdini just died.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he died this year. He died this year.
Oh, man,
Yeah, I heard
know that.
Houdini?
someone punch him in the
Houdini?
stomach right before he was about to perform.
What the
What?
fuck are you
That's
talking
how
about?
the real Houdini died.
That's right. I don't know
making a
about the
joke.
real Houdini.
Maybe not the best audience.
No, I
bunch of
don't
black
know
people going,
nothing
you know how real Houdini died, right?
Right.
you
no
talking
one
about?
got that joke.
Curtis Blow, Houdini. I saw all of them over there at the college.
That's amazing,
we
Pat.
lived there. And
See,
they let the public
I'm
in.
ignorant when it comes to hip hop in that. So I did not like Migos when they came out. I did not like them.
I don't. I'm 40. I'm 49, and I'm not gonna say I don't like the Migos. My son loves the fucking Amigo. I can't understand what the fuck they saying.
Yeah, well,
I already speak broken English, and so if you gonna break the English and do it fast, I'm like, I give up.
yeah. I did not like Migos when they came out, and then I was hanging with Jimmy, and I was explaining who I like in hip hop. And he's like, buddy, I hate to break your heart, but I think you're gonna like Migos a lot. And then I started listening to Migos again, after not listening to them, and I fell in love with them. And that is how, sadly, a lot of hip hop comes to me. Is like I buy the album, I don't get it, I don't listen to it, then I hear something on something, and I go, "What's that?" And they're like, "Oh, that's T.I." And you're like, "Oh shit!" And then I go through a huge when I found T.I. I remember hearing about him. I
My
think
favorite
Ludacris
rapper.
signed him to a deal, and then he fought to get his publishing back or whatever. I think that's what I'm thinking of someone else, but I remember hearing of him and then finding him when Georgia was born, and he already had like 4 albums out, and I'm like a ride or die for T.I. Like he is my favorite, probably
I love
my
me some
favorite.
T.I. Now, my crush is Ice Cube, but my favorite rapper is fucking T.I.
Ice Cube
Because I was on his last album.
on Ice Cube.
I heard
Oh,
that.
yeah, I knew you were on.
I could not believe when he asked me that. I was like, you sure you dialed the right number? And he's like, yeah, I want you to do this. I was like, I don't know shit about rap. He's like, I just want you to talk. And literally, I stood in that studio and talked, and he cut it up like that. I said, nigga, you made me sound good. You made me sound like I was tough as fuck. But it was such an honor to do that. I couldn't even believe. I sat in my hotel room and I was like, I can't believe T.I. just asked me to be on his fucking album.
Yeah. How's his podcast? Is it fun?
It was very fun. It was very fun. I don't know if he's still doing it, but it was very fun.
How do you meet someone like T.I.? Like
me and T.I. has the same agent.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
But you guys grew up around the same area, right?
But never met.
Never met.
Mm-mm. I had an idea for something, and just so happened me and T.I. has the same agent that reps me, him, 50 Cent, Mary J. Blige, and everybody. And I wanted to meet T.I., and he hooked it up.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
See? That agent's worth something.
He was so fucking real. And, because you in this business, it's hard to find a friend. It's hard to find real people.
Yeah,
it's hard to find people, just honest with you. He's an honest person. When I'm not busy on the road, he play cards on Sunday. I think you be cheating too, T.I. But you and Tiny ass be cheating. We saw y'all ass last time I was over there. But I go over his house when we play cards. And he have a chef that he's a really honest guy. I mean, I feel, how you could just meet somebody and you almost feel like they're family. Yeah. That's how I feel with T.I.
I loved
great.
The movie he did with I forget the name of it, with Big Boy.
Yeah.
Oh, you ain't heard?
ATL.
You ain't heard light skin dudes ain't in style no more.
Yeah,
one of my favorite lines ever.
He can fucking act.
Yeah, he can act. That's the thing about acting. Acting is pretty interesting in that I think it's it's kind of like fucking. If you get in your head about it, you're gonna suck. Like if you go to have sex and you're thinking about fucking, then you're gonna suck. But if you just let it go and just go, this is how I fuck, I'm not gonna think too much about it, then usually people like it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Well, if you're having fun while you're fucking, then they like it, right? You have to be having fun.
I don't like if I think about having sex, I'm bad. Like I'm like,
who the fuck think about having sex if you with your partner?
I don't know.
When you come home and think about fucking her, I
think about fucking her all the time. Yeah.
I mean, but
he doesn't actually think about it. I don't think it's the brain.
It just happened,
involved.
right?
Yeah.
I just asked my husband, hey, you want pussy? I'm going to go ahead and wash it. You want it?
I'm washing it if you're going to have it.
Well, and then I can, if you've been together with somebody, he took a bath. Well, let me go take a bath. He might want to fuck.
Yeah.
Usually we both fall asleep. And it happened the next day before the sun come up.
Right.
Because we need to be energized.
Okay, what hip hop artist do you think is the best at having sex? Think about it. Rapper. Let's just go rapper. I don't want to bring Usher into it because that becomes complicated. I'm thinking we're talking just rapper. Just rapper. Who do you think's the best?
I say 50 Cent.
I was saying 50 Cent too.
50 Cent look like he can fuck.
50 Cent looks like he can fuck and he talks and he licks his lips.
Let me tell you why. Because I don't know what he did to Vivica. It's been 20 years and she still love it. When a nigga lay pipe like that, I'm telling you, when a nigga lay pipe like that and you still talking about it and you was like, I still love you. You like, why, bitch? He done did all this. He said, you look at, I'm telling you, it's 50. 50 can fuck.
I guarantee 50 can fuck.
50 is like a, remember back in the day they used to give them vaccination shots with that big ass thing and stamp that thumb? Yeah. That's the type of shit he leave on a bitch. He leave his stamp. So when another nigga go down there and they lick it, they be like, what's this groove? Oh, that's the 50 Cent stamp he left behind.
He gonna leave a mark, huh?
He gonna leave a mark. I imagine. And then he muscle bound and he talk shit. And them old niggas who talk shit always can fuck.
Shit.
Oh my God. It's 50 Cent. I'm telling you.
Leanne, you don't understand how funny 50 Cent is.
He's very fucking funny. Sometimes he make me so mad. I'm like, 50, stop being so goddamn mean. He sue bitches for $6,000. I'm like, you don't need $6,000.
50 Cent tweeted to Floyd Mayweather one time.
Oh God, he be killing Floyd.
He destroys Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather is a boxer.
I know Floyd Mayweather.
I don't know. Sometimes I just make sure you know.
I know Floyd Mayweather is.
And he said, I make fun of Floyd a lot, is a tweet. I make fun of Floyd a lot. And I just want everyone to know Floyd is the champ. He's one of the greatest boxers that's ever lived. And if someone could just read this to him, that would be great.
That's hysterical.
See, I remember that tweet.
He said to hold on. I swear to God, he said to Floyd Mayweather, I'll give you $1 million
to read that book.
To read one page and with no mistakes out of Lord of the Rings. one page of no mistakes. You got to read it out loud. I'll give you $1 million. And Floyd Mayweather said no.
Said
Because you can't
pass.
practice on the page. I get to pick the page and you got to read it.
Oh my God.
By the way, I couldn't do that.
I couldn't do it either.
that.
All those
fucking
crazy
mean. He's so
made up
mean.
names.
But
Gangster.
you
50 Cent
gotta
is
like he's such
fucking-
a businessman. Oh my God, he know what he's doing. Oh my God, I've never met him, but he know what he's doing. So I would say the number one fucking rapper for me would be 50 Cent. The number one R&B fucker for me will be Bobby Brown. See, these are the people
Bobby
who
Brown.
lead.
Bobby Brown has dick because Whitney Houston could never.
I'm
leave
only
him.
naming the people who women couldn't get over. I know good ghetto dick. So these
ghetto
are
dick.
certified good ghetto dick. 50 Cent, Bobby Brown. Who can eat you really good
Bobby
will be
Brown.
R. Kelly.
Oh, oh Lordy. Oh Lord.
He's a certified vagina eater. I'm telling you, when you got 9 bitches crawling the court saying, I was a participant. He put that tongue on their ass.
Bobby Brown. There was a documentary of Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown, and where was it on like VH1 or something? I
Yep.
forget. I watched all of it. I was in love with Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston was the
My
first concert I
favorite
ever went
singer.
to. She's so good. Did you see her? You know, I got into, I don't know where I was, but I started watching the national anthem. People who sang the national
Oh,
anthem.
nobody sung it like
Nobody sung it like her.
She sung it different for the Super Bowl that was in Tampa, and she sang it her way. She didn't refuse to sing it the way they wanted it sang. She sang it with her inflection, her like a little
I'm
bit
so
of.
glad you said sing.
What did I say?
You didn't say sing, because black folks say sing.
She
Sing that
sang it.
shit.
Well, I watched this. It was a documentary made by black people for black people.
Okay.
So I'm sure I'm
So
just
you
stealing.
FUBUing it. You
Yeah, I'm
FUBUing
FUBUing it. And so, but she killed that shit.
They say she's the best one ever.
Anyone? Anyone get that?
I got
Austin,
it.
were you the only one that got that?
I got it.
What do you
Damn
say?
it! I said she killed that shit.
Yeah, she killed that shit. She the best one ever.
Yeah, she's the
yeah.
best one ever.
She is. That made me cry. Why was I watching that? I remember I ended up crying watching it. It's that good.
You know what makes me cry? I have it on my phone is when she sings One Moment in Time from the 1988 Olympics. I cannot listen to that whole song
I've
without
never heard
crying.
you know, we met her, right?
Mm-mm.
Oh, we
is it-
have a, yeah.
So now I'll
We
tell
have
the
a story
story.
about
If you,
Whitney.
how would you like to hear the story? Would you want to hear it very
You want the
accurate,
truth,
or
or
do you want to hear it? You want to hear the
the
good
stage
story?
version, or the truth?
I want the truth. Because
want
that
the
was one of
truth?
my
Sucks.
favorite.
The truth
What?
sucks. Go ahead, tell her the truth.
You tell the stage story.
It's
No,
not
I
the
don't want to
stage
hear what
story.
I just want to hear the
It's
truth.
The
Fuck
truth.
the
I'll tell you
stage.
the truth.
Here's the
This is
truth.
hang on.
You ready?
Yeah.
Truth is, Georgia was 3, and she tripped in the lobby of our apartment building and broke her jaw right here.
I would,
and
I would
broke
tell
her
all this.
four
I would
front
tell all
teeth.
this.
Inside her gum. So she needed to have them surgically removed. It
No.
was awful.
I was on the road. I
She
was
was 3.
at the Cincinnati Funny Bone back in the old Cincinnati Funny Bone. I was on Jameson tour. I get a call. You need to come home. So it's a Saturday. So I fly home Sunday morning. The surgery is happening Monday morning, and the marching orders are get your shit together. You need to be a dad right now, not an emotional.
No, every
fucking
time. Well,
wreck.
okay. Truth, motherfucker cried every breath. Couldn't stop crying. And I
couldn't
kept
stop
going, okay, as soon as you walk in this door, your shit needs to be together because she's 3 and she needs her daddy and you got to get your shit together. He'd been crying for like 36 hours
Okay.
straight.
All right, we get it. We
And
get it.
I
We
was
get
like,
it. We
you go,
get it.
this has to
I
stop.
want some knocked out
Everyone
teeth.
gotta
shits
stop.
on toxic masculinity, and all of a sudden, when I show you a real sensitive, feminine man,
that
everyone
was
fucking
like
shits on that
snot
too.
running. It was bad. And so he did. He walked in the door and he was amazing. And we took her to have her teeth done. She was the first patient of the morning.
We walk in, there's no one in the waiting room, and they said that to us. They're like, we'll get you in before anyone's here.
Yeah.
So I feel very comfortable being an emotional mess. I'm crying when
Right.
we walk in. I've got it together. I took it.
You
a
had
Xanax.
it. You
I took a
kept
Xanax.
it together because Georgia wouldn't. They had to put her under, obviously, and they couldn't find a vein. So they were like poking her 6, 7, 8 times in both arms. They went in her
Oh, I
legs.
forgot about that.
And she
yeah.
was freaking
And they
out.
needed to give her gas.
And they needed to give her gas, but they needed her calm. But she wasn't, you know, mama, you freak out on mama, but you stay really pretty okay with dad. So dad really got her calm enough so they could get her under.
Yeah.
But it was awful.
And so then,
like,
when they put her
bad.
under, they're like, all right, leave the room. She'll be done in a little bit. We're going to
It
just
would be about 10 minutes.
10 minutes. And
there's one bathroom. By the way, Bert walks
I would
out
tell
the door.
all of this in the real story. Keep going.
Bert walks out the door into the bathroom, locks himself in the bathroom. I'm like, where the fuck am I supposed to go? He's sobbing in the bathroom. Now I got to go sit in the lobby and sob because it was really awful watching them just poke her and scream. So I sit down in the lobby and I'm crying. And
Now here's the difference between a pedestrian telling a story and a person telling and a comedian telling a story. Okay. Leanne will tell you the story. She goes, I sit down, I'm sobbing, and then Whitney Houston walks in.
No, that's not actually what happened. But
what happens is I walk
Tell
in.
the goddamn story, white people.
Yeah, I walk in to the lobby and I'm crying uncontrollably. And there's this black chick who's trying to make eye contact with me to calm me down. And just be like, it's okay. But I'm crying uncontrollably and it's just awkward. It's me, Leanne, a black chick and a black dude. And we're there for like maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah, not
And
long.
then they come in, they're like, she's ready. And you could hear everyone go like, thank God, this is getting uncomfortable. We grab Georgia, we take her back into this receiving room to let her like wake up. We know we're holding her. She's got gauze on her mouth. There's blood everywhere. I'm still like, I'm not crying, but I'm like breathing hard. Leanne's got Georgia. And then they close the curtain in this receiving room. Curtain opens back up and it's the black chick from the lobby. It's Whitney Houston. And she puts her arm around me and says, it's tough being a daddy, isn't it? I mean, I'll get emotional thinking about it. And I start crying again. And she like rubs my back, sits down with Leanne, starts rubbing George's head. She's like, they're always your babies.
Well, what she said was, you're a good mama. You're a real good mama. She's going to be fine. And
Yeah.
I was like,
Both of
oh
us
my
were like,
God. And
it's Whitney fucking Houston.
I knew it was Whitney Houston in the lobby. I sat down sobbing and went, oh my God, that's Whitney Houston. And
she knew it in the lobby.
I was like, oh
I
my
didn't know it in
God.
the lobby. I didn't know who it was in the
I
lobby.
did.
So
it's
y'all-
hard to miss her.
So y'all never stopped crying and got a picture?
No.
So she gets up.
She was there for a
gets up.
procedure.
Yeah, she's there for a procedure. She comes over to me and she goes, I think you are the funniest comedian.
She did not.
No, she didn't say
No,
that.
she did not. She said, you're a good mama. You're such a good mama. She's
then-
going to be
White, bust your
fine.
belt.
And the reason we got the good anesthesiologist is because she had flown in
That's right.
off tour to get her teeth fixed and had an anesthesiologist there. So that's why we got the good
We got her
anesthesiologist.
anesthesiologist.
And then this is true. She then leaves us. She gave me a kiss on the cheek, told me
She did not.
She says
That's
she then
bullshit.
leaves us.
Not true.
Little Leanne.
She slides me and I
Stop dreaming, motherfucker. Tell the real truth.
She goes, Bobby cries too. She said that.
She did not. You're so full of shit. I don't even think she talked to you. She talked to me the whole time.
She said, I don't even think she talked to you.
She talked to me the whole time.
She
She was
said-
talking to me about being a mama, and she was rubbing George's head, and then the
And she's-
anesthesiologist.
she goes, she's so lucky to have a strong male like you in your life. No, but the
Dream on.
anesthesiologist goes, she leaves us and walks away. And they're like, and he goes, so where's Kevin Costner at? And she goes, put me under.
It was awful. I was like, what an asshole in the moment. How long ago was the bodyguard at that point?
Yeah.
It'd been like 20 years or something.
She said,
What a
put me
fucking
on.
Put
Stupid
me
ass guy.
under.
Put me under. Yeah, she was
And
there
so,
to get
yeah.
her teeth fixed.
But she had great teeth too.
She
That's the other
did,
thing.
and
She had
she looked
perfect fucking teeth.
Amazing.
She looked like $1 million.
She's
But
my
She
favorite.
the
did.
fact that she was in love with Bobby Brown, like his teeth were a wreck. Is he still alive?
You gonna get your
Okay,
ass
never mind.
beat.
Maybe I better
You gonna be
watch.
get your
I better
ass
watch what I say.
Your teeth may be a wreck if you don't watch out.
Yeah, no,
You
but
gonna get your
Bobby
ass
Brown.
beat slow.
Bobby Brown. He was not like a conventionally good-looking dude.
That's why they didn't want her with her. He was the bad boy.
He was the bad boy.
I thought he was
Yeah.
good looking.
This podcast is brought to you by Helix Mattress. A week ago, we set up our guest room in our new house. And we got a brand new Helix mattress. Now, there's a lot of information I need to get through to you. Number one, the thing's set up in literally 2 minutes. All you do is kind of pull it out of the box, put it on the bed, cut it open, and it unfolds and inflates within 2 minutes. It took 2 minutes. Here's the other thing that's interesting. So our master bedroom gets a little hot, but the place we put the Helix in for some reason is roughly the same temperature, but if I sleep in that room, I stay cool all day. I think this Helix has some sort of unique. Oh, you know what? As a matter of fact, when we signed up to get our Helix, we had to take like a little quiz. They do like a little Helix quiz, and they match you with the model mattress. Because I know I wanted something that was firm because of my back. Because I move around all night, so I'm always on one side to the other. And they said that this Helix mattress, if you're a hot sleeper, that it would cool you down. And I'm telling you, this is the place we fight to sleep in. We have a great master bedroom, but everyone wants to sleep on this damn Helix. Georgia got a Helix, Isla got a Helix, and the guest bedroom have a Helix. And I'm telling you, by the way, all those have great air conditionings in those rooms too. And those are the coveted sleep spots in our house. Helix mattresses are awesome. If you're looking for a Helix, just go take the quiz and order the mattress that they match for you, and it comes right to your door, literally right to your door in the box. You don't even need to go to a mattress store ever again. Helix is awesome, but if you don't take my word for it, Helix has been awarded the #1 best mattress overall pick of 2020 by GQ and Wired magazine. Helix has been recommended by multiple leading chiropractors and doctors of sleep medicine as a go-to solution for improving your sleep. Just go to helixsleep.com/Bert, take their 2-minute quiz. They're going to match you with a customized mattress that will give you the best sleep of your life. They also have a 10-year warranty. You'll get to try it out for 100 nights risk-free. They'll even pick it up if you don't love it, but you're going to love it. I promise you're going to love it. Helix has a financing option and flexible payment plans, so a great night's sleep is never far away. Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows. Holy shit, that's your whole night right there. And you're saving $200. For our listeners at helixsleep.com/Bert, that is $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/Bert. Yeah, Bobby Brown, they showed them at like Atlantis. And I had never wanted to live a life more. Bobby Brown like woke up, went down to the bar, started drinking vodka sodas. Whitney came down. She started drinking vodka sodas. They got fucking wasted. They go back up to the room.
Are you talking about the reality show?
Yeah, it was so much fun. I was like, God damn it, I just want to live that life. It looked like so much fun.
Wow.
I don't think it looked like fun.
I don't understand. Like I fly a lot. We do. Yeah. And I go in the Delta Lounge and people order alcohol at 7:00 in the morning. I'm like,
what do you need to know about that, Pat?
I don't know anybody who does that.
Yeah, what do you need to know, Pat?
That's how he is.
Yeah. Is that what you do?
Course,
Hell yeah.
It's my favorite thing in the world.
I don't get it
What?
either.
It's my favorite thing in the world. You should try it. It's fucking
I'm
awesome.
not going to drink alcohol before I eat.
I'm saying.
That's the best time to drink.
No.
No, I don't think so.
Pat, you have a cocktail.
I don't even fucking drink, first of all. And I'm definitely not. I mean, people like Bloody Mary. I'm like, bitches, 8:00.
Bloody Marys
Right,
are
I don't do it either.
so good, Pat. So good.
That's why you got vertigo.
A double Bloody Mary spicy is such an enjoyable cocktail.
And then those same people, you see them get on the plane and still drinking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, sometimes those people pack little bottles of whiskey in their bag and then pour it into little
They're called alcoholics.
canisters. No, they're not. I'm not an alcoholic.
I
First
agree
of all-
with you, Leanne.
First of all, Leanne, you know I'm not an alcoholic. I wish I was an alcoholic.
Well, some days.
The problem is I get all my shit done and I'm healthy and I still work
High
out.
functioning.
I'm a high functioning alcoholic. And so it's never gotten in the way of anything. So I'm never going to stop because
So
it's
it
never
doesn't
gotten in the way
count.
of anything. Yeah.
It doesn't count. 'Cause
Well,
I get my shit done.
well, what I do is I wake up and eat.
Me too.
Okay,
First thing.
okay.
I
Coffee
can't
and
function
I
without
fucking
eating.
eat. I can't. I don't understand you people. How you wake up and want to. I mean, to me, alcohol slow you down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Makes
and
me
so then
They
sleepy.
make you fucking crazy.
Makes
One of
me
the best
sleepy.
things in the world is to get a 4 beer buzz before you get on a plane.
4 beer buzz. You trying to start a fight?
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna. I'm not that kind of drinker. Like there are drinkers who, when they drink, their personality changes and they become a different person. I actually think I get quieter sometimes.
No, that's inaccurate. No, you don't get quieter.
Don't you just love her?
No,
She-
I
she
don't.
You don't
Bust her
ever get
fucking balls.
quieter.
No.
That never happens. You get quieter under anesthesia. That's about it.
Did you see me go under anesthesia?
I did see you. I said, this motherfucker, he'll put everything on
Right?
social media.
Segura goes, sometimes I'm reminded of just how different men we are. I said, why? And he goes, my surgery was very different than your surgery.
What was
So
wrong with him?
He tried to
Oh,
jump,
he
and his
fell.
knee exploded, and his arm broke.
I mean, his arm didn't just break; it like twisted and broke in half. It was bad.
And, he
And I
goes,
know his wife just had a surgery.
Yeah,
she
she
fell down the stairs.
and dislocated her ankle.
She fell. Talk back.
Come on.
And no,
She fell.
no, she fell down the stairs. but he goes, I went into surgery and it was very quiet. It was very solemn. And they're like, don't worry, everything's going to be good. You're in good hands. And he goes, you go into surgery like it's a fucking party. He goes, you brought your phone into surgery? Like, they don't let you bring phones. He goes, they took all our goods away, all my stuff away from me. And he goes, and they're playing music? And I was like, yeah, Creedence Clearwater Revival. And he was like, you invited your anesthesiologist to your Red Rock show? And I was like, yeah. Like, I made friends. Like, the one of the girl was a fan. And so I was like, I want to have a good time.
So she was a fan.
Yeah, and that's how I fly. I want everything to be a treat, a celebration. I have a hard time with like seriousness.
Drudgery.
I can't get through it. Like the surgery,
drudgery.
once I knew that, and by the way, I'll get all my surgeries done by those people because the way I don't mean those,
Vasectomy? Perfect. Can I schedule that with this guy?
Let me
Curlin
ask you
Jones,
something.
Curlin
So
Jones, they were
you
fucking
had a
awesome.
surgery,
Yeah.
and she told you was a fan. You didn't scared she was gonna knock you out and look between your legs?
Please take a picture, post it, put some of my dates on it. She came in and she was like, you can tell when someone's a fan because their eyes light
Yep.
up, and the curtain opened and she looked at me and her eyes were wide open. I was like, what's up? And she's like, I got to tell you, I'm geeking out. I'm so excited that I'm on your team. And I was like, oh, are you a fan? She's like, yeah. As soon as I heard she was a fan, all of a sudden I get relaxed. I get very comfortable and I go, cool. And then another dude came back and he's like, dude, we're all fans. I can't wait. This is going to be really cool. And then they're like, so wait, tell us, like, I've been following you. Is this what happened when you were in Serbia? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, oh shit. Like it was really cool. And then my anesthesiologist was fucking amazing. I got to be honest with you. I would actually pay out of pocket to have him put me under anywhere because his energy was so good. He was like, pick a song to go out to. And I was like, what? You know what it did for me? I wish I was better with analogies. My analogies are off today, but he gave me something else to focus on. I didn't think about my surgery anymore. Now I was focused on such a interesting task of what song will I go out to?
We talked
You mean
about
you
it
go
for
to
like
sleep to?
To go to
Yeah,
sleep
yeah.
to.
Because I just had what's that thing when they go up your ass?
colonoscopy.
Yeah, I just had that. And I don't think the African dude who did mine, I don't think he treated me right. I just think he
Anesthesiologist or the guy that put it up your ass?
well, the guy who put it up my ass, because I don't know who the anesthesia. Well, all I remember him saying, you gonna go, you count backwards, and I went out. But when I got up, and got back to put my clothes on, I think they put I got dressed, and it just fucking yellow shit just kept running, and I said I don't think my bowels were clean. Cause your bowels got to be clean. You got to be shitting water.
Yeah.
But brown shit kept running. I said, I don't think they did me right.
No.
I don't. And then my booty hole was kind of ruptured.
God.
It was a little sore on the outside. So I said, I think he went up in there too fast.
I'm so excited to get this procedure.
I'm supposed to have one. I don't want it.
She
No
said they
thanks.
gangbanged me.
Shit.
And my mouth was sore. Like my mouth was like crazy. I had
just
weird
said-
dreams of guys going, you need to watch this.
I said, I don't think they treated my booty hole right because the shit, it was a little sore back there. I said, I think they used the wrong side tube or some shit.
The first time I heard of that, I want to say it was either, I might have been Segura who was getting one or got one. And I go, they put you under for that? He was like,
Yeah.
Can you imagine if you were awake?
Oh,
They
God.
stick a
Not if your
camera
booty
up
hole
there.
is tight.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't take that kind of pressure. You ever been constipated, had it coming out the right way?
I'm constipated now because of taking pain pills, but I don't really mind constipation.
Well, then you're not really
I
constipated.
don't mind constipation, and I also don't mind diarrhea. Like when
But
people get upset
my
for having
God.
diarrhea, I'm always shocked, and I go, I love diarrhea. Like
That's gross.
I love diarrhea
That's so gross.
because you're getting it all
You're
out.
not constipated if you don't mind it. Constipation's
You like
painful.
diarrhea? Yeah, I like diarrhea. No, I don't.
I like diarrhea if I'm trying to lose weight and I took some X-Lax.
I'm always. Oh my God, how
You
great
like
is
the
that?
results of diarrhea.
Yeah, I like the results of diarrhea.
But not
Let's
the
clean that
actual
shit
diarrhea.
out.
But I tell you, when they give you that medication when they give you that liquid stuff to take for your colonoscopy, that is the best shit Oh my God, I lost like 12 pounds shitting. Because your intestine is so fucking long, I was just blowing the toilet to hell and back. I had to buy a new ring to seat.
Oh my God.
Because you were, the splashback? I had to buy a new ring.
That shit was powerful.
You were getting
ever
it done.
And it get in your hair because your weave hanging back. I was like, oh shit. Let me take my wig off.
It gets in your hair.
That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
Oh, that shit. I lost like 12 pounds doing that fucking colonoscopy.
Why can't we just take that today?
I know. I wish. I tried. I was like, can you please write me a prescription for that? But they won't.
Oh, man.
They said, because you just can't do that shit all the time.
I'm going to get skinny as fuck.
Me too. I just want to see my vagina.
Can I tell you I judge how skinny I am based on if I can see my dick on a toilet?
I've
if I
seen
sit
your
on a
dick.
toilet,
You ain't lost no weight. I've seen your dick.
Yeah. Yeah, you have. You definitely have seen my dick.
Yes,
I forgot
she
about that.
definitely
I
has.
thought you were just joking, and I was like, no.
She saw it.
Yeah.
She did. She saw it.
We did not do a threesome.
I forgot we did
We
the
did not
cabin
do a
together.
threesome.
I
forgot
saw
we did
the
the
filmed
cabin.
version of you seeing it from the cabin.
Oh
For
yeah, I
the
got
edit.
a lot of pushback for that shit.
I saw it. You got a lot of
forgot.
pushback?
Yeah, I did get a lot of pushback for that cabin shit. They were calling me racist. I said, eat my
forgot about
ass
that.
upside
Oh,
down.
I forgot that we did the cabin. I really forgot we did the cabin. I forgot what it was.
Yeah, it was fun. They was like, you're so fucking mean. You ruined the cabin. I said,
They
and you
don't
ruined your
understand.
mama pussy when you came out backwards.
Oh, that was my see. When we talk about having those uncomfortable conversations about race, that's what I loved about that episode. Was
Me
it
too.
got uncomfortable, but it's and I'll say on Kaley's behalf is that it's one of those things like the 85 South show where I'm gonna have a blast. I know that there's a lot like that people can construe what I'm gonna say on that show and make me seem like a bad guy. But for me, as a fan of the show, it's kind of worth it because I like the show. I get a kick out of those guys. Fucking Chico Bean with his hair, when he said, I've always worn braids, I followed that whole journey of his hair, of him growing his hair out. I could not stop. I enjoyed that so much on such a different level where we're like, I don't understand. I don't think he understands why I liked it so much. Can we talk to him about that? Fucking DC Young Fly is possibly one of the most positive energied motherfuckers in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I watched him go back to his high school on a separate video to just go back, and I watched him get lunch at his high school, and I had the biggest smile on my face watching him fill up a plate full of lunch from his old high school. Like, but I it's worth it for me. Kaley, I think, left and thought this wasn't worth it for me.
Well, I think, and I wasn't trying to be rude. I was just being mean. And when you don't know me, you can take it the wrong way. When I said, who fuck is you? I don't know you. I knew who Joy McHale is. Hell, I still talk to Joy McHale at least once a month now. But I think they never had that rejection before. Well, nobody knows who you are and say it out loud. And nobody said in your face, who the fuck blackwashed Big Bang Theory? Not that it was, it wasn't for me. I mean, it did 9 years or so. So it had to be a good show. Somebody was fucking watching it.
Yeah.
I was just being honest from my perspective. And that's what's wrong with society. Everybody's scared to say what the fuck they're thinking. If you don't like, everything ain't for everybody. Mm-hmm. And I'm a 49-year-old black woman. And I should be able to tell a white woman, I don't know who you are. I don't give a fuck if you is worth $100 million. I've never seen you before. But then you told me you played on the show that John Ritter died on. And I said, you was a daughter? But I never noticed her on the show because I was a John Ritter fan. So I didn't look at nobody else but John Ritter. That's all I remember about that show was him. I wasn't trying to be rude. I wasn't trying to be racist. I was being honest. I was just and that's what's wrong with the world. You can't be honest to a white girl or people, especially when she worked for $100 million. Oh, and then when she played the victim, oh, I'm so scared. Why the fuck are you scared of me? I'm the nicest motherfucker you ever gonna meet.
See that,
I'll ride and die for you, bitch.
That's where I probably fucked up because I think I was drinking, so I wasn't hosting.
Everybody was drinking. It was like a brandy tasting.
It was a whiskey.
Or
It was a whiskey tasting
or something. Yep.
And I probably should have jumped in because I had a similar experience with Lunel, where I thought Lunel didn't like me, and I couldn't turn a corner with it, and because I kept, all I was hearing was how she was saying things as opposed to what she was saying.
Yeah.
And Donnell and Red played a liaison for me in that moment, and now to this day, I was just texting with Lunel the other day, So like I'm cool with Lunel, but they got me to understand that I should have done a better job of negotiating the waters between you and Kaley, because I couldn't explain. Trust me, if she doesn't like you, she's going to let you know that she doesn't like you. It's not you're
talking about Miss Pat.
Miss Pat, yeah. You can't judge how she's saying it. It's what she's saying.
The thing is, I would imagine if you didn't like her, you'd be real quiet.
Yeah, I want to fuck with her.
Yeah, exactly.
But I thought she was really
That's
pretty.
right.
And when you told me who she was, I was like, oh, the girl from the Big Bang Theory. I never watched the episode. Honest to God, I never watched an episode of the Big Bang Theory. I didn't know who she was, but she was really pretty. And later on, I Googled, I said, bitch worth $100 million. Who the fuck give a fuck if I didn't watch it?
Well, I think that's the same thing as Kaley was put in a precarious situation where it's in a weird way.
She probably had never met nobody like me.
I would assume, it's unfair for me to assume that Kaley wouldn't know someone like you and have someone like you in her private circle. I'm judging that based on the fact that I think her husband is an heir, and
she's also born and raised in Southern California. She's from here.
And she's been in.
But she was a nice girl.
She was great. It bums me out that she did not have a good time. It bums me out that she regretted it. It bums me out that she's been fairly vocal to a few enough important people that it's come back to me that how much she hated that experience. And because I go, that was never my intention. My intention was to introduce one of my favorite people to Hollywood types. Joel and Kaley are different. They're Hollywood types. They know agents and they know showrunners and they do stuff that we don't do. We are in the clubs. We are in podcasts. We do television too, but we don't come at television the way they do. We come at it like I can play Bert, you can play Pat. If you want to do a derivation of that, we can play those characters too. But I'm not going to play a flight attendant, on Kaley's show because it's a little out of my fucking swing zone.
Yeah, right.
Kaley's a very trained, great fucking actress,
right?
Who's got.
Hey, when I went home, when that aired, I got up that morning and watched it when you dropped it, and my husband said, "How the fuck you not know who Kaley Cuoco is?" I said, "Well, how the fuck do you know who she is?" And he was like, "The Big Bang Theory." And then he went on and say what she did in her childhood. I said, "Well, I don't know that. Yeah. I don't watch those movies. I'm honest. Yeah. I mean, and maybe,
it's the beauty of being where you are in your career where you go, I'm not going to do a song and dance for you.
I'm not going to do a song and dance for any fucking
anybody, nor should you have to.
And
that's
what took me the most when I went up to Joel McHale and when I said, "What's up, Ryan Seacrest?" And he was like, "You got it, Lizzo." I was like, "Yes." Personality, it fucking made me laugh. Yeah. But when I was approached with her and you was like, I don't know her. I said, I've never watched it. I said, who the fuck watched The Big Bang Theory? And I could see the life come out of her face. I was not trying to be rude. Really nice, beautiful girl. I don't know why she played, "Oh, I'm so scared of you." You don't have to be scared of me. I'm the nicest bitch you ever made. I will fight for you if you my fucking friend. Well, that's just how I am.
Like I was talking about earlier with my trainer, where the person I work out with him thinks he's yelling at her all the time, and I don't hear it as yelling. Yeah. It's different, not just because he's black, but because he's in the South. And that's how my coaches talked to me when I was in sports. They yell, but they're not yelling. It's not an aggression. It's a passionate way of talking. Yeah, I think it's very different.
Overall, I'm a pretty nice person.
You're very nice.
Do I get a little loud? Yes, I do. But you'll see that when you watch the TV show that comes out August 12th too. Like, well, goddamn, Miss Pat. But I'm that person in your family that's gonna be honest with you. And that's who the fuck I am. I don't know nothing else. I don't go and eat these people fancy meals. I don't throw up in the bathroom. Well, sometimes I do because shit don't go all the way down. But I'm just real about it. I'm not gonna let this industry change me. That's why I live in Indiana. I don't have to fucking get a BBL for my ass to look like a turkey leg for me to fit in. Hell, I'm a 9 in Plainfield, Indiana.
The thing about it's so funny. I've dealt a lot with episodes that we've shot at the cabin. I feel like I never got to promote it because it came out during the quarantine, and I feel like I haven't really talked about it at all. But what I feel bad. I really do feel bad for Kaley because I feel like it was a missed opportunity for her to meet someone that I thought she would like forever. And you guys are in the same industry. And I do think she would look at what you're doing with your show and respect it as someone who's done multicam, as someone who's excelled at the highest level of multicam and is now an executive producer. I think she just signed a big deal with Disney Plus or something.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I think you guys would find a common ground. I think I was the wrong go-between because
that may be accurate,
and
actually.
I love.
And it was also awkward because you were figuring out what this show was about as you're shooting it, like you just described earlier, where let's just get it made and get it started and I'll make it my own. And it was, I was there that day and I was listening and I thought if there was a better structure going on here, this would have moved to a different place very easily, but there was no structure. So I think there was just a combination of a lot of things happening in that moment.
The thing that pivoted everything was, and this is the difference between saying like, I have a black friend or saying, or people that don't say that. Like Jimmy Tatro is, I've used him as an example a few times. He's a very good example of a solid dude who is what you would say is woke, but he would never say that about himself in a million years. But he is very on the right side of everything. He would never tell you I have a black friend. He just has so many that it would never be something that comes up in his life. And the way he grew up, that he was just, he just doesn't see it. He doesn't see it like that.
Right. They're just friends.
Whereas also like one of the conversations that came up was about Michael Vick. And I know, because I have enough black friends to know that is more a story about the way white America sees black people as opposed to dogfighting.
Did it come up on the cabin?
It came up on the cabin, and that is when, between you and her, because she is a big animal rights activist.
Oh, that's right.
And you said one of my favorite players is Michael Vick. And I tried to stop it right there and go, hold on. Miss Pat isn't advocating dogfighting, nor anything he did. What she's saying is that
I'm a Falcon fan.
A Falcon fan, but more important, by the way, he was one of the best goddamn fucking quarterbacks you've ever seen play. What he did was so magical that it's overwhelming when you watch this highlight reel. But more importantly, what happened is that a lot of people in the black community see going to prison and doing your time as redemption, and that is you need to
and white society don't. So let me ask you something, and
I feel bad having this conversation with Kaley not here to defend herself, but this was one of the things that came up that made things awkward, where I said you can't say you don't forgive Michael Vick, because in essence you're saying, Pat, as a convicted felon, I also don't forgive you.
Yeah,
I don't forgive
and
anyone who's been to prison.
Fuck. Yeah, I also don't give a fuck.
Right? Yeah,
because everybody deserves a second chance, except murderers and child molesters. That's what I believe. Everybody makes mistakes, but this world want to cancel the fuck out of you so fucking quick. Yeah. Michael Vick made a major mistake. Being around the road, not fucking cutting the loose past. I am big. I'm here today because I got a second chance.
Yeah.
But you would take this black man, ruin his fucking career, and lock him up for dogfight. But Rossenberger allegedly, supposedly raped many bitches. They've said Rossenberger have been inappropriate with women. What the fuck his name is?
No, right now is the one time he's like, thank God she's not pronouncing my name right.
But I know nobody ever did anything.
Yeah.
And nobody even tried to prove anything. And I don't know if it's true. I hope it's not, because I'm a fan of him too. But everybody, you got to give people a second chance. Mm-hmm. People fuck up. I'm here. I'm a prime example of what a second chance can do. Some people need 2 and 3 fucking chances.
It was a bigger
but
conversation.
Because you're an animal rights activist, and I tell you that I tell every white motherfucker, black motherfucker, Asian, anybody that'll listen to me, Miss Pat like Michael Vick. I had a woman say, I'm not coming to see you because Michael Vick. I said, I don't give a fuck. When you want me to send you some puppy child? I don't give a fuck. You're not gonna make me bow down to you. You cannot make me. I believe what I fucking believe. Yeah. Everybody deserves, and I might get in trouble for this. Somebody said, I can't believe you performing at the same club. What's the guy name who just got in trouble? The comedian who back on the road now.
Which one?
Who just got on the road, getting back on the road. Who jacking his dick in front of the
Cosby?
girls.
Louis C.K.?
Louis C.K. I get a lot of this in my inbox. How dare you perform at a club that Louis C.K. perform at? Look at here, people. I gotta eat. Leave me the fuck alone. You take that up with that club. Louis C.K. gotta eat. I don't got nothing to do about that. I don't know Louis C.K., great comedian. He can jack his dick in front of me. Leave me the fuck alone about Louis C.K. He violated women. I don't have nothing to do with that. Leave me. I get this. Yeah. I've gotten at least 50 emails. You should cancel. No. What the fuck am I not gonna eat because Louis C.K. coming to a club I performing? If I can't do nothing about that, it ain't like he left cums on the seats. And I'm at the on the microphone.
It's not your business. It's the club's business. That's nothing to do with you. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I think that's it's a.
And I get that a lot. Do you ever get that? Well, you haven't been on the road.
He doesn't read his emails. So no, I get that shit and delete it.
Yeah, I'm like, what is wrong with you people? I cannot, I have a family to feed. And because this man play a club, I cannot cancel my gig. No. Let me say this. I believe in second chances. I am a Michael Vick fan. Michael Vick have gotten out of jail and proven himself to be a law-abiding citizen. You know what I'm saying? He's working for ESPN. He's working for the owner of the Falcon. He turned his life around. Why is it that we cannot forgive what this man did?
Why can't you celebrate that?
Why can't you celebrate that?
Isn't that the point?
And here's the
isn't
other thing
that an example of someone going to prison and reforming?
That's what prison is for.
Exactly.
Prison is not for you to go to jail, get out, and you still motherfucking hating on them.
Yeah, it's for reform. It's to learn something different.
There's a great documentary on what happened to Michael Vick that I think is on ESPN Plus.
I wouldn't even watch it. I know
it's a good documentary.
Wasn't it 2020? 20 for 20 or something? Everybody was like, you gotta watch my. I said 30 for 30. What the fuck it was? I'm a fan. And I remember meeting Michael Vick at the Atlanta airport, and I was coming out of I think he was coming out of Delta Conference, the Delta Lounge, and I was getting ready to go in there, and I see this big old tall black guy standing there with this expensive ass Louis Vuitton book bag. I said, "Ooh, that's made by $7,000. Who the fuck is that?" Some shades, had a hood on it, hoodie on the head. I said, "That's somebody famous." Now look, I said, Michael Vick. Oh my fucking God, Michael Vick. And then I'm in the process of writing my show, and I wanted him to be on it so bad. Yeah. And so I said, oh my God, I'm such a big fan. When you went to jail, I fucking love you, Michael Vick. I just love you. And I tried so hard to write him in this show. Because he was such a big error of when I lived in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So I tried, but we just couldn't fit him in. But Michael Vick, I'm coming to get your ass. I don't give a fuck if I got to race you. I'm coming to put.
If I can race you. Well, here's the thing that I think. I think certain people see atrocities people commit and they're personalized. Mm-hmm. Whereas sometimes they're not so personalized. And like when the Louis stuff happened, I feel bad even talking about it, but I do think it's worth the conversation. But when the Louis stuff happened, I remember saying to Leanne, and Leanne was a little more like trying to explain to me why that was so wrong. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, but he asked their permission. Like, how are you going to know if you're going to jack off in front of one? Like, what if you like jacking off in front of people? You're kind of like, you got to ask, right? She's like, yeah, but it's different. There's a power structure. And I don't think I understood a little bit. She gave me an analogy. She's like for instance, if you were in a hotel room and I forget the name you used was a cage fighter at the time. You were like, I forget who it was, but I'll say like Brock Lesnar said to you, hey, I'd like to jerk off in front of you. How do you feel about that? You don't get an option to say no because he is going to jack off in front of you because he's Brock Lesnar. He's like 290 pounds. He's got a spear tattooed down his chest. He's jacking off. You don't get a say in that. So she was like, that's kind of what it is. And then, what's really interesting is when we shot this movie, halfway through this movie, I thought, I think I understand a little better. I never really worked in a work environment before. I never really had a job where it was like a work environment.
You mean like a broad cross-section of people? Like
yeah. Mm-hmm. And I thought to myself, I talked to Andrew about it and I went, I think I get why what Louis did was so bad, because I can't imagine asking anyone in that environment, hey, is it cool if I jack off in front of you?
That's very uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable.
And a woman comedians, those female comedians, am I right?
Yeah.
So say for instance, I look at it like this. You really want the opportunity to open for somebody like Louis and big comedians. Or you want the opportunity to go on the road. But then you don't want to fuck it up. And this person said, this is a power struggle. They was like, well, do you mind if I jack off in front of you? Well, you really want the gig. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you really want you want to show that you you a team player, I guess. You know, you don't want to be confrontational, so you probably wouldn't answer yes or no, and that person would take it as a yes and whip their dick out.
Yeah.
Even though you're fucking uncomfortable, and you go, because I've worked for uncomfortable, I've opened it for uncomfortable people that I had to take that uncomfortable for 5 fucking years, been treated like a dog.
Yeah.
No hotel.
By the way, I did too.
Yeah, no pay. Motherfuckers talking to you any kind of way. You know, it's no different than what he did.
Yeah.
You know, so as a comedian who coming up, you know, larger comedians sometimes shit on us.
Yeah.
And so you want the gig, so you kind of take the bullshit.
It's a unfair leverage.
Yes.
They have leverage to get what they want because they know you won't say no, even if they ask.
And the women probably wasn't strong enough to say, don't you take your freckle face dick out of my face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes it's
I've had
off-putting.
comedians try to show me they dick, and I said, look, don't play with me. Bitch, I'm married. Don't you fucking play with me.
Yeah.
I didn't come out here to suck no dick for no gigs.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm also a strong person. I can say that.
Yeah.
I don't know the women. I don't know who the comedians were. Maybe they wasn't strong enough. Maybe they wasn't comfortable enough. And I'm not saying what he did wasn't wrong. All I'm saying is stay the fuck out my inbox. I don't got nothing to do with this shit.
Yeah.
No.
Well, yeah,
I'm just trying to feed my fucking family.
I'm still friends with Louis. I'm just so that we're clear. I've emailed him a couple times. Like, I'm still friendly. We don't hang out or anything. I'm still friendly with Louis, and I do believe in a second chance.
I do.
But I also believe that it's my responsibility to kind of do the math and think, okay, so a lot of people are upset about this. Maybe I'm not wrapping my head around it yet. Because when it first happened, I was like, he asked, and they said yes. Like, that's how consent works. And then all of a sudden, I worked on this set, and I was like, oh, yeah. I can't imagine.
Consent doesn't work exactly like
Consent doesn't work like that, especially
Consent
when you're in a work area.
Workplace.
I'm sure this is all stuff Louis doesn't care to hear about it being talked over again. And it's very old, but it's worth going like, oh, wow, that's crazy that, 5 years after that happened, I really wrap my head around it and go.
In the end, just respect people.
Yeah.
Just respect people. Everybody not into that creepy, freaky shit. My hairstylist is a freak, but I'm not sucking dick like she do.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking flying off a mountain and jumping on top of dicks. You know, I like my dick to roll over on top of me and I go to bed. That's my preference.
Right.
Respect. You know, when she called me one day, put ice in your mouth and suck a dick. I'm not getting up going to get no ice. My motherfucking back wheels are too hurt.
Right there, Leanne.
Yeah. Hold your breath there, big boy. Hold your breath.
Fucking.
I was like, this is the dumbest shit ever. Why would you want me to freeze my husband's dick off?
Yeah.
But you know, it's you know, in the end, just respect people.
I think that's what it comes down to. And
I have a t-shirt that says, we don't have to agree, but we do need to respect each other. Y'all go buy it so I can buy some more hair.
That documentary on Michael Vick, the one thing that my one takeaway was just how the group he was with, you know, it's funny. I wonder how little I would have changed if I stayed friends with the guys I was friends with in high school.
You have to cut people. Everybody can't go to the top with you. Everybody don't see what everybody, first of all, most of the people you come up with don't have the talent you have. Second of all, you can't take everybody with you. My career's starting to change and they say I'm mean. I'm not mean, but when you have people out here putting your business out on the internet, what you making, and I see people recording people running the TMZ, and people like, oh, I can't look. I don't want nobody new around me. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna say.
I definitely feel like that.
Yes, I stay the fuck. I don't want your friends around me. I don't want nothing around me new. I am very fucking.
That's fucking really accurate.
Yes. Because people wants to make money because they ain't got no motherfucking money. They ain't got no talent. You be done said the wrong motherfucking thing because I know how I talk at my goddamn house.
Yeah.
I know how I get down. You be recording me like motherfucking, what was that gospel singing son? Kurt Franklin's son recorded him cussing and the whole oh my God, Kurt Franklin's cursed. Hell yeah, he cursed. He bitchy at home and he's a human being.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that. That one little shit can ruin my whole fucking career that I worked my ass off because you decided or I decided to let the wrong goddamn person in my circle. Look at Kevin Hart. Had this person in his circle for all those years and fucking tried to get $10 million out of it.
Yeah.
The more you get, the more they want to take and the more paranoid I have become. Fuck you. I got them at the point where my kids gonna have to sign an NDA.
I would love if my kids signed an NDA.
Yeah, I mean, that's at the point because you just this is an ugly business.
And people do want to take you, especially when you start to do good. It's funny, like people root for you to do good,
I have a T-shirt to say, "Congratulations, motherfucker who congratulate you but really hating on you."
It's interesting how many people do start to dislike you when you succeed. When they thought you weren't a threat, they loved you.
This is their word. You done changed. No, motherfucker, you change.
Yeah.
Because you haven't gotten over the point that I'm beginning to move on. So when you don't make that person, when they been there and then you don't make them a part of what you're doing now, all of a sudden you change and there's a problem with you. It's not a problem with me, bitch. It's a problem with you. I got the same phone number. I ain't changed what for shit. Bert, I got 2 layaways I got to get back to motherfucking Indianapolis and pick up. That's how real I am. I still do fucking layaways. I love them. They fucking pull people credit cards.
Yeah.
You put that 10% down and you make sure you get it out in 90 fucking days.
I remember hearing about Layaway for the first time, and I told my dad, why don't we just put it on Layaway? And my dad was like, what the fuck did you just say? I was like probably 9 years old, and I was like, well, whatchamacallit, put it on Layaway, Dad. And if we put it on Layaway, he's like, the fuck are you talking about Layaway? You're 9 years old, you want to put stuff on Layaway? And I was like, seems like it fucking works.
My whole life was layaway growing up.
Hell
That's
yeah,
what we bought
Sunshine.
everything. Yep.
Sunshine had that layaway. Woolworth had that
we
layaway.
did.
This is down south shit.
Yeah.
Woolworth had Layaway?
Yeah, back in the day.
They did.
And you would go in there, well, back in the day when we was young, right? So my mom didn't buy no deodorant, so we would go down to Woolworth and rub the deodorant up on our arm, and you spray that Primo on your pussy.
God.
They said, if you like Giorgio, you're gonna love Primo. It was a knockoff of all the perfume.
Yes, I
you
had
be walking
Primo,
out that
that's what I
motherfucker,
used
bees
to.
be trying to sting your pussy.
That was Giorgio Primo. I'm with you.
It was in a yellow can.
It was, yeah. Had stripes that went this way, right?
Yo, they was at Woolworth and they had a whole aisle of that shit. If you like this, you gonna love this. It was a knockoff, but it would really be repellent.
It was not
Bee
good.
repellent.
That's exactly what it was.
How funny.
God. So wait, how long you in LA for?
I'm here for a few days promoting the TV show and with podcasts, and then I'm back. Gonna do a little small soft little premiere in New York and do some other.
So is the show out right now?
August 12th.
August 12th.
August 12th.
What did you get? 4 episodes?
I got the pilot.
Oh, got the pilot. Yeah. So
I loved it. I know I said it earlier, but I really freaking
You
loved
gotta watch it, Bert.
I will.
So Joe watched it, right?
Yeah.
And it's hard to get Joe to watch shit.
Yes.
So I said,
is.
he's like, Pat, it's hard to make a sitcom, and I love you, and I really don't want to watch my friend's stuff because I don't want to be. I said, well, you can always fucking be honest with me. I said, and if you be honest with me, it means a lot. Just watch it. So I said, where are you? If you don't mind me asking. He said, I'm in the Mediterranean. You see, I can't even pronounce the shit. It just sounded like wherever the fuck he was at, waterfall, just falling blue with butterflies flying up under it. That's what I imagine, because that's the type of fucking money Joe Rogan got. So he said, I'm on vacation with my family in the Mediterranean. What you know what I'm trying to say?
Mediterranean?
So, yeah, that shit. And I don't even know what the fuck the Mediterranean is. So
It's far away. You don't need to know.
So he said, I'm gonna watch it. I sent him the clip and he watched. As he watching it, he texted me, he's like, I think you got a fucking hit.
It's so good.
And
I'm telling you.
And he started in one line in there, he was like, did you teach your daddy how to lick a click? And he just fell out laughing.
Yeah.
And he just kept going and kept going and kept going. And to see Rogan texting me back, from just little jokes and stuff we wrote. And I was like, oh, not bad. He's like, you did. He said, Pat, the hardest part is to make the pilot. It is the hardest.
That's the hardest part.
The hardest part. Because, people expect the pilot to be all right and then walk your way up. But this pilot is really fucking strong. The series is really strong. I mean, there was times I had to really fight with with showrunners and writers, and I was like, I heard that joke. Take that shit out. No, motherfucker, we ain't using that whack ass shit. And doing this taping, I had to get a what did I have to get, Quisha? A life coach, because I went in there gangster. Therapist. They sent me to therapist.
In real life?
They did? Why?
Yeah,
because of the way you were talking to people? Or?
Yeah, I was like, we ain't gonna do that, motherfucker. Hell no, that whack ass shit. So they had to teach me, You can't say whack ass shit. You ain't shit. Oh, corny ass
You
nigga.
ain't shit. You can't tell a writer you ain't shit, Pat.
No, you can't tell them that. Corny ass nigga. You can't say
my
that
God.
to writers that you don't know and, you know, that you didn't hide. And it was like, this is not professional. I said, well, I'm a comedian. When you ain't funny, we say you ain't shit.
Yeah.
So I had to learn how to talk corporate.
Oh, that's fucking.
How'd you like talking corporate?
I just said, I didn't really do
It'd be great if her
corporate.
answer was like, I really enjoyed it, Leanne.
No.
I learned a great deal.
No, what I would say, let's start over. This ain't gonna work. And then I would say, if this joke, if this ain't as good as this joke, then we can't do it. We can do better than this. And that was night. Let me tell you something. You writing a 10 episode show, and no matter if you do hire writers when it's so personal, that was every fucking night. Me and the writer stayed up every night fixing everybody's strips.
But that's how you know it's going to be good.
And my daughter wrote on the show.
She did.
My daughter Gabriella, she wrote the episode by him, them, and they, and she nailed it. But we had to go over a lot with structure for the co-creator. But a lot I had to go back and put my voice in there. Because I was like, this ain't what I would fucking say.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I could put this old joke here. So it was very hands-on. And I wasn't playing. I was like, y'all not gonna have me looking like this shit.
Yeah.
Well,
you
you
can't
look
you
great.
can't
It was
you can't have them
great.
misrepresent who you are, because who you are, it's
And if it does well, that's who you're going to be for years.
And that's
Right?
who I've
So
been
you-
for 49
gotta-
years.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you were playing someone that was so inauthentic and this show was a big hit, you'd be playing that person that was really unauthentic
And
for years.
This mother is a convicted felon. This
love it.
mother,
yes, she
and you
is. I
see-
loved it.
And the mom, most of the time, you see men taking on. You see the woman holding down the household. Well, my husband holding down the household in this show. Well, I go and try to follow my comedy career. He does the cooking and the cleaning. So it's a reverse role, because that's what it is in my real life.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not Claire Huxtable, like I said earlier. I can't fucking cook. If I go in the kitchen, my kids will stab me in my motherfucking neck. I better be buying a toaster or something, or painting the cabinets, but I better not try to cook.
Yeah.
So that's what I loved about the show. The roles were reversed. I mean, I'm not just chopping vegetables. I'm out there following my dreams, and he got my back like in real life.
Yeah.
It was so good. Here's what I really hope. And, you know, Bert stole your portion of that I was supposed to get by myself today. So I didn't get you all to myself. So at some point you have to come back and just do my podcast.
Okay.
Because I hope when I want to talk to you about your
I'll
book.
tell you what. How about this? How about this?
Hmm.
I'm gonna go in and get a coat hanger and itch my arm.
What?
You do your part right now, and then you can include our portion, and you can open with this portion on your podcast. So you guys do whatever
What time is it?
is 1 o'clock. What time you have to be out of here? Do like 15, 20 minutes by yourselves. What time you need to leave here by 1?
Reg call? How you? Oh, I sure do. I got a fucking meeting at 2.
Okay, you'll be fine. On the phone, or you got to drive somewhere?
Just on the phone.
Okay, why don't you guys, I'm going to go get a coat hanger and itch my arm. Why don't you do that part about her book
Okay.
by yourselves?
Okay.
And then you can open
Is that
your
okay with
that
you,
way.
Pat?
That way you can get a
Yeah.
double release.
Okay.
We'll put all of what we just did, and then you can open your podcast with this,
Okay.
and then put all the other stuff onto it too.
You so
Okay.
fucking smart. Get the fuck out.
He is very smart. Right?
Pat, you know I love you.
I love you
I always
too.
got your back.
Go eat your own.
Fuck Kaley Cuoco. I'll burn her house down for you.
Don't say that.
We can get behind the gates.
You can't get on the street without getting shot.